Stop.
Yeah.
Fucking
We're a disaster.
Earth to the stars by candy bars.
All right.
God.
I'm ready. I'm good.
Whoa.
Session 2. Regalian campaign. Are you all ready?
Yes. I'll never be.
So I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
You keep going. I'm just full screen though.
So, last we left off, the company of travelers who banded together for the day because one of them happened to know a place where they could at least make a temporary a home for a moment.
That is our party name,
Huh?
just for the record. That's
What?
our party name.
Temporary
Going
home?
forward. Company of people who gathered, who banded. I don't remember.
Company of people who banded together
Just-
for some reason.
Just ripcord the fuck out of that.
Someone knew where we could sleep, and that's why we're hanging out.
Jesus.
Incorporated.
You mean middle school friend
LLC.
groups? I sat next to you in homeroom, so I guess
Us
we're
were
cool.
friends.
The party followed Lilith, the fighter, over to one of her old haunts, a place that she did a lot of
Work.
a lot of jobs for an individual known as Jarek Corsell, the owner of an establishment called the Little Villa in the Twilight district of the Regal, the capital city of Regalia. Once there, they all met Jarek, and everybody seemed to hit it off. Even our very strange companion, Pal, who had a violent reaction to alcohol. You were all shown, due to Lilith's connection and previous goodwill with the owner, Jarek gave you all 3 rooms, of which you have split between you all. You separated into groups of 2 to take each room. And we start up there. You were all in identical rooms, all on the same upper level. You all have windows, 2 beds, 2 chests, the normal amenities that you would have for a nicer, not an inn, but a nicer establishment which you could bed down for the night. You have the rooms for the night and the next day. After that, some arrangement will have to be made with the owner for further lodging, or you may find other locations in which to lodge. Yes. Everybody is in their room. I believe it was Pal and Exodus, Lilith and Ren, and Kira and
Kara.
Kara? I'm very sorry. Kara.
How dare.
I was close.
Stabbing. Deadpool.
And Kadota.
Creator.
You are all in your rooms, setting your traveling equipment down. I imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are all putting away your different backpacks holding your equipment, getting settled in the area. Those who have it, some do not. What are you all doing? Where are we going?
Let's go route by route.
All right, let's start with Ren and Exodus.
Ren. Me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I'm just
Ren
leaning in the
and
doorway.
Lilith.
So I threw my stuff in the corner of where everything normally is, and I'm just leaning in the doorway.
Okay. All right.
I suppose it's us 2, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose Ren is looking around, drops his stuff. How many beds? Is it just 1 bed, 2 beds?
2.
2 beds.
2 beds. Yeah. Ren drops his stuff on the bed, looks around, and looks at Lilith, kind of raises his eyebrow and says, "Hey, you waiting for something? We going somewhere?"
I just have someplace I need to be, but just waiting on you.
I mean, I ain't got nothing to do.
Well, I need to know
Let's
where
go.
you're going because I got the key, and I'm twirling it in my finger.
Well,
You all each group has a set of 1 key for the room.
well, I could take the key if you got somewhere to go.
Well, if you want employment or anything like that, you may want to follow where I'm going.
An appointment where?
I need to make a stop at the guild. So if you want to come with me,
Yeah, why not?
alrighty.
All right, so that's that room. Next, let's do Kara and Kadota. You guys are setting your stuff down, getting settled.
Dota's like arranging her stuff. She's not, if you're watching her, not really unpacking a lot, but moving as if she's trying to look like she's making herself more comfortable while still staying clearly like, if we have to leave, she's ready to go, I guess.
Not completely unpacking, but like putting.
Yeah, like the.
This side of the room's mine. That side's yours.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah,
Bare essentials.
Kara is similar, very militant. Everything's tight and tidy. And she's just not gonna say anything. She's just gonna be to herself.
Dota's gonna kind of look at you and sort of nod, like respectfully, like, cool, that's how this is gonna be, and go back to doing her own thing. Are you, like, watching what she's doing, or are you just doing your own thing?
Yep. Yeah, she's just doing her own thing. She's not suspicious of you or anything.
What, just as a note, what are you all leaving
Dorm
behind
mates
you? What
who
are
just
you
met.
carrying on your person? I want you all to keep this in mind. What are you carrying on your person basically at all times? The general equipment, weaponry, are you carrying around your bags? Things like that. What are you...
My 2 swords are already strapped to my back.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
basic.
Scott screwed up, I forgot.
Those are Michigan colors.
I leave my backpack, and my backpack has like traveling stuff, like a bedroll and mess kits and
Same.
rations and water skins and things like that. But I have my weapons and a pouch on my belt.
Okay. Okay. And how about Pal and Exodus?
Well,
In the third room furthest down the hall.
so I think first I get in there. I'm still wearing like these clothes that I was given, right? And they're a little like uncomfortable, but I'll leave them on for now. So I guess I just have like plain clothes.
Simple woolen shirt and breechers.
And I got the shield, and the staff. And I guess my roommate Exodus, as I walk in, and like look at the room, I just keep my things closer to me. I guess I get a little claustrophobic.
Don't have to worry. There's not much you probably have to shed. He pumps down the. He's gonna put down his the chest that he took with him, and he's gonna throw off his bag, and all the weapons just clatter onto the bed, and it's tink 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 all over the place. And he's fishing through it, basically pulling out his books, and he's leaving everything behind but his books and his walking staff.
Okay.
And he's just going to put on a messenger bag, and as he's going, he's like, look, it's going to be okay. I know you don't sleep either, but I'm going to ask you questions probably as we go to sleep, and I'd like to know a little bit more about you, because you seem like a very interesting creature.
Now,
And I'm sure...
now, sorry to interrupt, but in your communication to Pal, you're doing this telepathy. Telepathy.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I figured it'd be disturbing and annoying for everybody else, so it's in your head.
I was fully prepared for you to just be doing both the whole time. Just like stereo.
It's just
Stream of conscious.
I think Pal just kind of gives you a look, and he doesn't respond right away, and as you are like using telepathy with me, you are getting like this weird background static, like it's gibberish, like it doesn't make any sense, but then eventually the words come through and go, "How are you doing this?"
It is magic. It's kind of hard to really explain or understand myself, really, but it is magic. And I figure there are many mysteries that surround you, and there are many mysteries that surround where I get all of this. That stays between you and me, okay?
What does?
That my magic isn't conventional.
Oh,
There
not everyone has magic?
No, you have to learn how to use it. That's why this Mage's Tower over here really kind of puts a handle on a lot of it. and they keep it all documented, and there's certain regulations and things like that. I'm supposed to be a wizard. I don't really know what I am. I don't really.
And this
Hello,
Wizard.
I am a wizard.
this is a prestigious role in society.
It is, yes. They're like problem solvers. Some of them are kind of just researchers. Some of them are assholes. But that's normally not
Professional
synonymous
asshole,
with it.
thank
Is they try to help further and control bits of society so that it does not collapse in a lot of cases. Sometimes they, there's mending. They do if something breaks, they can put it back together. If there's there was at one point a time where the planes kind of overlapped and wizards helped fix that.
I would be very interested in seeing more about these wizards, this magic.
They might be, well,
Use magic.
I don't know what the fuck magic is.
it might be a little bit, they might be a bit overwhelmed by your presence a little bit. But I will try and maybe perhaps...
I could put on more clothes if that would be more settling.
It may, but in this district, from my understanding, it's very... How should I say? Bougie, I believe is the term. And I'm to be escorted solely by myself to and fro, basically, and they don't even like me very much, from my understanding.
Ah,
Words.
interesting.
But, I will bug you about things later. I will also probably teach you to joke, because you have no funny bones. Or any bones at all, from what I can tell.
None, not a single one.
What are these bones?
I have a friend of mine that
What
told me a
is
joke.
bones?
His name was Giuseppe.
You understand what a bone is.
Absolutely, and I know that I do not have a single one of any kind. And I think he'll actually
He just wiggles.
he actually goes, and I'm actually interested to know how you are.
Can I open you up and take a look, please?
Yeah, can I?
Understanding
I don't
I
know.
lack bones, I now
can
desire
feel
bones.
I can feel your words emanating through my entire consciousness. It's strange.
It's cool.
Well,
Cool.
he says he says out loud.
In Exodus's voice, I
Yeah,
believe,
absolutely.
of course.
I had a friend who told me this joke. His name was Giuseppe. He said, "What do you call two corpses that are buried together in the same coffin?" Tube mates. Oof. You'll get it. You'll get jokes. They're funny. We should probably go see the others. Yeah.
Yes, I must find the one who calls himself Ren. And he just turns and strides out of the room.
About that time, all of you have finished getting settled for your part. You make your way back out into the hall, and I'll contact each other again. You decide to go back down the stairs to the main kind of parlor, barroom meeting area. Still at the counter, seemingly finishing up a conversation with a couple of what appear to be some of his workers. Jarek is going over a few odds and ends, few papers at the very end of the bar by a door, kind of looking over and kind of murmuring or counting to himself. You're not entirely sure. You see a couple other people in the room, a couple of various different. You see some elf-looking individuals. You see some humans, mostly humans. Again, that is the general populace of Regel.
Are these people that I've seen before talking with him?
Make a history check.
Fuck.
Well,
Do you want to play where it lies?
not off the ground. No.
Yeah, no. What was it though?
Don't like dirty dice.
It was a 3.
Yeah, no. Good thing I didn't. That's better. 18.
With an 18, yeah, you've seen people dress similarly. I mean, you've not met any of these individuals themselves, but you've seen their dress. The people that he was speaking with who exited out a door were dressed similar to Droog, who you remember and you met outside, who you're acquainted with. These are clearly his employees in whatever version of a uniform. Obviously, it's not so put together as that, but a general worker's attire for moving equipment or goods. As the exterior courtyard, Lilith is in constant fluctuation of stock and trade, and
So these are people I haven't conversed
you've
with.
never met them before, but you understand that they work for him.
Got you.
He sees you all. He hears you before he sees you coming down the stairs as you are quite a group. He kind of calls you. He kind of like puts his stuff to the side and he goes, "Well, I hope you are all well acquainted and well settled in. Is there anything I can do for you, or anything you wish to do for me?"
Well, I think that's a thing that we can discuss later. But I have to do something. I know you don't want me to, but I need to make a stop. And then maybe I'll come and I'll definitely come back and see what you can fill me for.
Sure. Do any of you other fabulous people have any plans, or are you looking to make a little coin? I have a couple things around the district that you might be interested in. If you're nothing too dangerous, nothing too serious, all above board. A few errands, just to kind of get you acquainted with this little part of my town.
Ooh.
Tadota looks around, trying to gauge interest.
I could make some coins.
Yeah, Ren will speak up and say, well, I was planning to follow Lilith here and maybe check out the guild as well, but I am open to making some coin and definitely getting to know this part of the city a little better.
Well, you're in luck. By the guild, I do have a small delivery that I need made to a friend of mine, a dwarf named Taghammer. He runs a little smithy in the Twilight District. I have a few. I have some supplies for him that I need delivered. He's already made payment, and I don't like to keep my customers, my friends, waiting. Besides that, I have a little bit of a collection job that I believe, due to your relation, if you are interested with this, I need you to go and meet with one of my constituents who owe me some money.
Okay.
And I also have a friend in need down in the Emberlight.
I was talking to a houseplant, but once the Emberlight is mentioned, I kind of come back to the
A
conversation.
fake houseplant.
Yeah, a fake
Who
one.
you were getting
That's
very
why
upset.
I was wondering why he wasn't responding.
Like
Brother,
talking
please.
to talking to a fake plant, he is not responding to you, and it's very
Goddamn
frustrating.
NPC.
Tell me your secrets.
You bird of paradise, son
No.
of a. All right.
Well, I'll
You know where Taghammer is. He's right across the street from
and
the.
if they're gonna take that, I'd rather go with them.
Oh, that's fine. You said you were interested in that. If you are, then by all means.
I have to go to the Helios district at some point if anybody wants to go.
You're probably gonna have to go alone.
The Helios district.
That I do, yeah.
He's got a writ and everything.
me.
Can I see
have a
that?
quest.
No, it's mine.
I just want to see it. I'll give it back.
I'll tell you what it says. It's just he has to return a book.
Okay, sure.
I have to go to Mage's Tower.
Interesting.
I'm a wizard.
I figured by your dress.
It's very, yeah.
Well,
Evocation, it's cool.
very.
All right.
It's
I want
actually
him to
not.
do
There's a lot
jazz
of
hands
fire
every
magic
time he
if you
says
haven't
wizard.
been-
I'm a
Okay.
It's a
So
necessity.
again, I just have to make a stop, and then we can.
Well, since you're on the way,
Right.
I'll have a couple of people bring over. It's nothing too heavy, just a few boxes. So with that, Jarek goes around and gets some of his guys to bring out what are 4, decent-sized foot-by-foot boxes that are sealed. They're decently heavy, but nothing that would be extraneous. He offers to give you a wheelbarrow. He has one, or a small cart that you could pull. Just something to carry it around so you don't have to physically, individually carry a box of... It's pretty hefty, whatever's inside of it.
Wouldn't mind it.
Alright. So he prepares that. He gets you the wheelbarrow. And some of his guys start loading it into there. So if you're going...
Do we get to know what we're delivering?
In this line of work, my friend, it is usually better not to know. Certain level of
Discretion.
discretion is always advised. But it also protects you, protects me.
Right.
As long as it won't bite.
On a scale of heaviness, is it like box full of drugs, box full of weapons, or some other maybe stolen
It
objects?
feels like a box of something heavy.
5 pounds
Like-
of feathers or 5 pounds of bricks?
Shut the fuck
You know what I mean? Though, like a box full of drugs would probably not necessarily be as heavy as like a box full of weapons.
I'd say it's relatively light for what you have been told has been smithing equipment. He says that it's material, it's smithing material, so maybe 15 pounds at the heaviest.
Oh.
Not terrible, but 4 boxes of them.
Cool.
I would appreciate it if you didn't open it. This is not.
Of course, not our delivery.
You take the delivery, you make the delivery, you get paid for it. Simple as that.
And what is the pay?
Well, that depends on if you make the delivery or not.
Well, presuming we do.
For the 4 boxes, I'll give you 20 gold for each box. If you make the delivery today, before the end of the day today, I'll give you 20 gold for each box that you deliver. Pretty good, right?
Makes sense to me.
It's drugs.
Extremely very good. Yeah.
Extreme.
I would know, knowing at this point, since I've done work for him a lot, that it would normally be go deliver, come back, then receive payment, or if he
Receive payment on delivery.
or receive payment on delivery. Okay, so it's not going to be a problem if we deliver
And then
go to the guild. Okay, cool.
Shouldn't be.
Cool. Okay.
Theoretically.
He writes up a little note, and he folds it and gives it to you. For
What are the odds?
For
this errand
Gavin,
is more
if you would.
complicated?
He's gotten more ornery in his in your time away, so just bear with him.
Ordinary.
Ornery.
Ornery.
Ornery. He's a son of a
Ornery.
bitch.
He's a son of a bitch.
Oh,
Yes.
so more than he was used to.
Yeah, if that's
There were
possible.
4 boxes, right?
4
Yes.
boxes.
Hmm.
Other than that, if you're interested in the Ember Lights, if you're not, I understand. It's, in a new place. You might want to stay in the same district. If you're going to the Helios district, good luck. As for the person who owes me a little bit of money, it's a gentleman by the name of Samuel Sose. Samuel is a little behind on his payment for his shop. He runs a little antiquity store in the Western Twilight District. It shouldn't be any problem, but it's a little strange that he hasn't made a delivery to me. He hasn't delivered the funds, as it were. So I'd maybe check in on him, ask him why.
Have I met Samuel before?
You haven't.
I haven't.
No.
Okay.
Have I?
You know now that you mentioned it.
I think
He likes being
what
out
we
of
should
voice.
do is at least let's get this out of the way, and then if need be, if I need a little extra help, I have a couple of people in mind for that job.
All right, well, go away. Get out.
I love you, mean it.
Bye-bye. And he goes back to business. You all kind of make
Nice
your
meeting.
way...
I stand
You
a bit
may-
too long. And then follow the others.
Okay.
On
You
brand.
guys make your way out a door and into the courtyard where the guys have been loading it up, and they're just kind of standing like, okay, here you go. Who takes the cart? Who wants to lift the cart?
Not yet.
I can take
say,
it.
I say to Ren in Sylvan.
Yeah.
So what exactly is our objective?
Well, we are taking these to someone who is close to the place where she wants to go to check in for something.
And you see at this point, Lilith's kind of behind the wheelbarrow. She's gonna.
Okay, you pick it up.
This is just something quick. Get you guys a little bit of money because I don't know what you're working with. So I figured I'd be helpful. And then I can get you guys, at least if you're not comfortable with this kind of work, some honest work. That's okay with y'all. But this will be quick and really, hopefully, not an issue. But that's fine.
This
What
good
is
for now.
money?
Oh boy.
He's from the woods, Jacob!
Conversation with Pal trying to explain currency.
I think as we're walking.
Yeah,
Trading.
as you are all walking, you begin
I got a
to
good
explain-
economics lesson.
You begin
God.
to explain the
Money
idea
for
of commerce and trade and goods for services and services rendered and blah 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 blah. blah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're making your way
Your
down.
basic, your basic 10th grade civics class.
Oh God.
Fascinating.
Driving fast?
Not very. It's still, it was the middle.
homebound.
It was middle morning when you got there. You've come out. We're gonna say it's about noon. The streets are a bustle. People moving around. Other people moving carts or carriages on the road full of other goods. Some heading out towards the eastern gate. You are all coming down kind of a main road that you took to get to the little villa. You're coming down to that same little courtyard with a fountain or a little centerpiece that is kind of a roundabout. You guys make your way continuously down. It takes you about 30 minutes, 45, just because of the heavy traffic, and it's kind of stop and go, even just weaving through people. You take in the sights, the sounds, and the smells of the Twilight District. Like I said, it was part of an older part of the city where it was built together with dwarves, humans, and elves all together. Kind of a bluish-gray stone makes up most of the buildings, as they are 2 to 3 stories. You see a few buildings over cresting in the distance that are higher towers, maybe 5 or 6 stories, but individual towers that look to be... You see birds coming in and out of one like carrier pigeon. It looks to be some kind of delivery, rudimentary message delivery. Making your way south, you begin to hear what can only be described as the sound of machinery. You,
Oh great.
yeah.
The vines on the back of my neck stand up.
Making your way towards the
That is disturbing.
what is
It's just Davy Jones on the back of my neck.
Aw.
God, that'd be
Do
scary.
you fear no death?
yeah,
I'm quite
yeah.
scary.
Afraid to get wet.
You not either dead nor dying.
So you begin to hear what sounds like jing 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 jing. Some large heavy
You look like a
piston
cat.
is being
Like a cat.
dropped multiple times and various increasing of speed. You also see a plume of black smoke rising out of the building, and as you come around the corner, you see a hanging sign called the Tack and Hammer. This is Lilith would know. This is Gavin Taghammer's smithy. This is if you all like to walk inside.
I'd be the first one in.
I kind of stand outside for a second and like look at the plume of smoke going up, and just offhand say to Ren, "I found it."
The great
No.
evil.
No, you did. No, you,
No, nobody.
I'm like walking in, and he says that, and I stop and I turn around and I grab his shoulder and I pull him inside. I said, "No, you didn't.
What?
It's just."
What? The soot? The soot?
Oh, great. It's a self-righteous toddler. Self-righteous toddler.
Hey, we've already got one of those.
I don't know much, but I have more.
No, fucking too long.
Oh,
Against my will, I walk in.
You make your way inside the Tack and Hammer, and you come into what is a very squat for as many people who walked in. It's not typically for large groups of people.
Everyone.
You don't see anybody manning any kind of desk or anything. It's kind of an open plan, it's just an empty room. You walk around. There's a hallway leading off to the side, and the rest of the area is open. You still hear that chain and dropping of a piston, and you come around a corner into what is the back end of the Tack and Hammer, which is open to the air. You see what appears to be a smelter, a mechanical smelter and boiler, kind of chunking away, and it is self-loading up fuel from a lower portion of the ground. You see that down into the ground, that little chunks, little buckets are being loaded up and then dumped and then go back down into it on a conveyor belt. In this like mechanical, like welded and tacked, bolted forge. You see a squat, red-haired, auburn red, whether from dirt or natural color, you're not really sure. Dwarf male. He has red hair going around and bald right on the top. He is wearing a leather apron, long gloves that come up to at least his forearm. Massively well built, strong muscles. You see that he is currently he's working something with a lever with his foot, which is like pulling this piston up with a chain and dropping it down at various speeds as he's kind of shaping a piece of metal.
That's a fucking power hammer, man.
Exactly.
I think as soon as we walk in, his name's Gavin, right?
Gavin.
I go, Gavin! It's
Aye.
Lilith!
He messes with the mechanics of it real quick and it starts to slow. He pulls the metal out. Kind of sets it on an anvil. Pulls off his gloves. I haven't seen you around here for a bit there, Daddy.
I was trying to go back home, but I have a delivery for you.
Good. Is that in the cart?
Yes.
Put it over there.
Okay.
Mm.
These are some of the people I brought with me that I met that helped save some people.
He just kind of takes his hand out of the glove and he starts like from the back. You just kind of see like his beard move and then little sausage diggets like straighten his beard.
They're with
I
me.
slowly grow a beard.
Just a
Don't do that.
green wavy,
Stop.
very Davy Jones.
That one really did.
They're with me.
By Tech Hammer. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Well, yes, let's take a look at what we got here. I expect you'd be wanting some payment.
Be nice. I've been traveling.
Well, good for you. Not all of us get to leave and see the great wide world yonder.
I was just going back home to see my father.
And why haven't you gone then? He goes over and he starts like prying open the box.
What's in the box?
Are you walking up to it? Okay. You see a strange gunmetal color ingots.
I pick one up.
I wouldn't do that.
Unless you know what I'd be doing with metal, I suggest you put it the fuck down.
pal, I would put it down, and I kind of ease. I just kind of.
Apologies.
Thank you.
He's kind of not from here,
And just
as I'm
drop it
sure you
back
can
in.
tell.
Was he born yesterday?
Might have been.
Might have
Honestly,
been.
we don't know.
Was he born yesterday?
I am so sorry.
He does that.
Ren, do you want to show Pal anything outside, maybe?
Curious one, that.
Not really, but sure. All right. Yeah, and so, come here.
Take the dog outside right now.
So let's talk about what this place is.
What sort of metal did you have there?
Hey, Chris gets to be dad this campaign.
Oh God.
Strong metal. And for building things you don't need to know about.
That works, but I don't know what kind of metal it is. I'm just curious if it's like metallurgy and things like that. It's strong. That looks good.
It's an alloy made of a couple different materials.
Like?
Like iron and steel and silver.
Interesting.
So you're working for that son of a bitch up in the villa?
I always have.
Yes, you always have. Except for when you're working for the guild.
Dad did it. I want to do it.
Why don't you stick with more reputable sources?
Meaning, you don't think the guild's reputable?
No, the guild is what I'm be talking about, lass. It's the only proper way for anyone who fancies himself a sword maiden. Any proper way to make any money. If you're not working for Regal. Fuck do I know? You do what you want, you always will.
And it will stay that way.
And it'll get you killed. What are you looking at?
Nothing.
Damn right.
What's gotten in your bridges?
I would assume it is soot.
Soot and fire and Regal guards biting my ass hairs.
Not mine.
Oh my bad.
They pull on my balls with tweezers. They're raising rent all around. Any place that isn't amber light. You know what? You know how I have to work the bloody forge? Day in and day out. I'm happy to do it. But they've got production up. I've been making, instead of box nails and building material, I'm making weapons again. I fucking hate swords and axes. Spears and pikes. Just more bullshit. They're planning something, I'm telling you. And I tell all those fools down at Sid's.
Can I hear this?
Yeah.
Because he's not
Yeah, I
being
figured it was
polite
just like
about it.
10 feet
Yelling,
away.
yeah.
He's not
He's a
being-
loud,
Yeah,
boisterous fucking...
Yeah, I think, and also like supposedly in conversation with Pal at this point. I think I should be able to hear it, but I can.
You guys aren't that far away and you're open, and now that he's kind of shut stuff down, there's not a whole lot of ambient mechanical noise. So yeah, with you can hear it.
Okay.
Just didn't want Pal doing any
No,
more mimicry.
the only thing Pal has to say is, this is a place of unnatural evil. And then
Great.
listens to the lecture and then has nothing else to say.
Yeah.
I used to work with me hands to make beautiful things. Now I just make the same template bullshit every day, day in, day out, day in. Give an old dwarf, it gets on me nerves. Losing my hair. I haven't lost none of my beard yet, but that's going soon if these things keep going the way they be. But none of you gave a shite about me. Any of that. Yeah, you want your gold, I'll get you. And he goes around to a little, like a cubby or a dwarf. He goes to a dwarf. A
Give me
dwarf.
my fucking money.
There's no money, Blabowski!
Give me my money!
You hired
the money,
shithead! Just to
Just
shake
a
them
fat
down
bastard
for money.
dwarf.
Make yourself feel better, like you're swindling him.
Yeah.
So he starts counting out, and you
You said you didn't want to spend any more today.
He gets two small little leather hand stitch bags, both with sizable. He walks up to you. There you go.
Thank you.
There's a little extra for you for coming to see me and giving me such lovely company. Come back if you ever want anything interesting made.
But not weapons.
Not weapons.
And how much was it in total?
He actually, 20 gold for each box, but there seems
So
to
20,
be...
40, 60, 80.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a little sum.
There's a little something.
Okay.
80-ish.
So 100 gold in all.
100 gold and all. Then I want to walk out real fast.
Can I have a base discard?
He's not from here.
You just collect them, don't you? You don't even come back. You just hoard them.
I'll just
I have a Rolodex.
well, at this point, if you're gonna stay with me for a minute, you're fine. I'll make sure you get back to him.
Okay.
And I want to kind of lead everyone out, and I want to go ahead and divvy up the coinage.
Sure.
Before I exit completely, there's like there's a forge, right? Like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
obviously
there's
some kind
like
of
a-
fire
Do
source.
not touch it.
Boiler,
I'm not touching anything.
Bomb the
I am right on Ren's heels.
boiler, conveyor
We're not
belts,
setting
like
a plant
automated
on
system.
fire.
that-
Visible flames, right?
Yeah. You can definitely see that there's like a place to stick metal and like to heat it up. Like there's a channel.
Without like turning around or anything, just as we're walking out, I snuff it out.
Dick.
What?
How?
Oh.
Control flames.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Before that, in the whole conversation, the main response to like this is a place of unnatural evil. Ren would just be like, "You're right. It is unnatural, and I don't expect you to believe this or understand this now. That does not make it evil. We will have more conversations about this."
Ethics will
Dad,
continue tomorrow.
Dad. But so I go ahead and divvy up whatever it is. So if it's 100 and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So
Do you
Wait,
take
two,
any
three,
money?
four.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 1,
You
2.
Big
know what
exchange.
money
No,
is?
6.
I got that. I got the
him!
economics lesson.
Wait, there's
I know
6
what
of us.
money
Hold
is.
on.
I know, now we have to do real fucking math.
While you're doing that,
To be fair,
I'll take.
We
whatever
only
the-
know there's 80, if you want to factor that in.
Well,
Yeah.
there's technically 100.
I know, but we don't know that.
Right.
I
So
don't know if that makes the math any easier.
what I'll do is
She
everyone
can cheat it how she wants. That's what I'm saying.
everyone
That's
will
true.
get 15.
Okay.
15 gold. And then I'm gonna take the bag and I'll be right back. I'm gonna go back in to see him, and
you see that he's like looking at his boiler. He's like, like looking for something wrong because he sees like what were like, good fine coal completely out now, and he's like, "Bastard fucking piece of shit." And he starts getting like bellows out and shit. He starts
and
working on it.
I give
You're
him
just gonna put it out again.
the
That's why I was
the
laughing.
bags back and the bag that has the leftover money back to him.
Oh.
You know, you need it more than me.
I don't.
If I want you to make the pretty things that you make, so I want you to have enough money that if you need to leave when things get going, then you can leave.
I'm not going to be leaving Regal. I've been here for 48 years. It's my home.
Like a week.
I appreciate it, but you keep it, lass.
Are you sure?
I'm sure I wouldn't have fucking given it to you if I wasn't fucking sure.
Well, they're getting in an argument, aren't they?
I'm just holding the gold pieces,
I
and
at
then it
least-
just disappears into my hands.
I
and my
Are you-
forcibly give him 5 back,
go.
and then I take the rest.
The worst magic trick.
Are you going to go see me sister in the guild hall?
Of course, you know I will. I always like to see her.
There haven't been much to work for any guild members in Regal.
Why?
The guard has really come down recently, lass.
For what?
Just in general. There's gangs roving the streets in the Amber Lights. They're making their way through the Dawn and Soul. They
What
got
the fuck's been
smu-
happening since I've been gone?
Just more of the same bullshit, just worse. Lots of struggles for the underworld power. People taking street at a time. Gang ruffians, young folk. People who don't know any better. Then you got the guards. They go around trying to snuff it out. Watch out for any people wearing red coats.
Red coats?
They're constables. They're something new.
Fuck them red coats, alright.
Am I right?
And then I come in and I give him like a side hug. And
He pats you.
I leave.
As we're
All right.
outside,
Is your entire body a pocket?
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah, and in the brain so that you can understand it.
Oh, in the brain he returns. What's a pocket?
He sticks his hands in his pockets, goes like this.
Oh, and he sticks his hands in his body.
Kadota looks at Kara. I mean, if you think about it, the human body is kind of a pocket.
Oh, I liked it better when you didn't talk.
Pal is just going to look at Kara and just go, magic?
No.
Magic?
No magic.
No.
And I think at this point I've walked out and I'm just like,
Ren, oh
Right.
my god,
You
you,
just
can't
see
just
Pal
ask
just
people if
pointing
they're
at people and
magic.
saying magic.
Ooh.
How did that happen?
I don't
Magic.
know.
Magic?
And then, do you, as I walk in, do
Yeah.
you,
Magic.
no.
We were playing
He
a card game
does.
earlier, yeah. It was, yeah.
Wizard.
Yes, very good, yes. These are the words you're teaching.
He's learning.
Happy
okay.
expression.
He's learning. Alright, so that's done. I just need to make one more stop and then we are fine. Sorry, he was kind of a bit of an asshole. He normally is.
As long as you're alright. So where are we headed to?
Well, just around the... you can actually see it from here. There is the guild house. It's a rather large building. It's about 3 stories tall. It's a larger establishment. It takes up a whole block. At least one side of it from what you can see.
I know I said necklace last game. Can I make it a brooch instead so it doesn't
Jesus,
It's big.
it doesn't interfere with the family
At least
necklace?
from what you can see, it takes the entire block. Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay, because I know
Like
I
a-
said that, but I was like, wait a minute, I wear my family necklace like
It's
all
a
the time.
it's a family necklace brooch.
Well, the
catch-all.
family crest is a necklace. The guild thing was a brooch. That's
Okay.
what I was trying to make the difference.
That's fine.
Okay.
Uh,
So, just right there.
It's a large brick and mortar establishment. It's definitely built differently than the rest of the buildings around here. You see the slanted roof. Something you would see more out of what you would imagine like the Renaissance Festival kind of like building. It's clearly a different building. More industrial, milly looking kind of red brick and mortar. It goes down the whole length of the city block. You don't see behind it, obviously, because it's the whole building. It goes up 3 stories, and there's windows lining it, and a couple different doors leading in, but a main set of double doors. You just see different filigree, not filigree, but you see different like banners of different. Which you see a Regalian banner, which is just the emblazoned sun, the yellow sun on a red background, adorning, falling down off of off of flagpoles kind of jutting out from it. But you also see what seems to be different representations of adventuring party members. Things like a bow and arrow, the sword, a shield, a warhammer, magical components. You see alchemy bottles, things like that. On different banners spanning the building. Very celebratory. It's very clear what this building is. And the banners with those are in like a light cobalt blue. Very much clashing with the red. They kind of sway in what little breeze there is. As it is middle day, you just stepped away from a furnace, which was very hot. It's still really warm. The stone just seems to radiate heat all around you. It's probably like 80 degrees, just as is,
Not a
and
cloud in the sky.
it's a little cloudy, but it's sparse.
The air
Far
is very
away.
spicy.
It's hot. It's very hot.
Sun comes up, and it goes back out.
You actually see on the streets, not making any rounds. You see a couple of Regalian guards. They are in a red tunic, the same kind of like maroon or emblazoned red with gold filaments, gold like detail, and just simple. Some of them are wearing like chainmail. Some of them are wearing plate. Most of them with an open face helmet that just kind of covers around with a plume coming off the back of it. Just like, not like a feather or anything, but just like a fabric, like, just kind of falls
Kinda
down
like-
the back.
Like Spartan-esque? Or like Rohan Main-esque?
Rohan Main-esque, yeah, but it's clearly fabric, not like horsehair. It just kind of is tacked onto the helmet coming down and kind of ponytails off the back.
I like it. I steal it.
What?
Not literally. I just wanted one.
I morph
Oh, I
it.
see.
I morph into it.
I'm morphin' time.
Got the beard and mane.
This is
all
for
coming
you.
together.
No.
It's
How
all
big are you
green.
right now?
Yeah, it's all green.
I'm
You can
trying,
change
I'm trying
the
to stay the
shade,
same
like,
size as you guys.
darker
So
or
the
lighter.
average
So like 6 foot.
More
composite-
water
So my
density,
height.
less water
Almost.
density.
Maybe a little bit taller.
6 foot at the moment.
Okay.
You see some guards just kind of like handing, and most of them are carrying what look like pikes or
Halberds.
halberds. Thank you. Yes, exactly.
Exodus takes his staff since we're on the street now and just. It's now a walking stick.
I was like, and stabs the man.
It's telescopic.
No.
It goes. Voop.
Because my brain is. What's the name of the guy we just visited?
Gavin Tackhammer.
Gavin. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Red-headed, thinning dwarf.
At least he's not gray.
Bald Pete.
Bald. Bald.
Bald.
All right, I get it. So yeah, there's the guild. If you want, you can make your way inside.
Yes.
Are there like any plants, or has it been like dead barren this entire time?
Make a general perception check.
Like even like mushrooms growing in dark corners, or like grass in random places.
Dead
So
aliens be
ivy?
like, fuck yeah.
I'm looking for
concrete.
anything.
Ivy's a plant.
Perception, you say?
You've stayed on the main road the
shreds, you
entire
say.
time, and you've gotten some looks, but most people keep to their business.
21.
21, you see cracks in the stone. You see like where nature is like fighting through just the normal like off the curb. What little curb there is, you just see like little sprouts of weeds, a little bit of grass. You haven't been down any alleys or anything, but you think maybe you've seen like creeping vine off of some things that look like a home. You've seen on banisters, if you've been looking around some of the two-story places, most people live where they work in this district at least. So you see people kind of lining clothes, and on their like small balcony, you've seen potted plants, flowers.
Domestic friend.
There's some hope.
There's some.
Domestic
There's
hope.
sparse, but it's there.
I ain't gonna talk to no weed because they're very, they're dicks. So
They spread a lot of rumors.
yeah,
Ah.
rumor weed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Not the good weed.
The good
Not
shit.
the good.
It came from a crack in the ground. How
I
good
feel
could
like
it
it's
be?
the difference between like the balcony plants are like puppies, and
It's
then
buffalo chicken.
the weeds are like fucking
Yeah,
wolves.
I'm really looking for it. And if I see like a mushroom or something, then I'll stop and talk.
no mushrooms.
No, not for fucking concrete weed. Not gonna do that.
No, we're
Concrete, baby.
You just hear them constantly shouting, "I will grow."
Yeah, they're very persistent. Like, you talk to them and they're just like, "Fuck off! I'm trying to do something." It's a whole
We
thing.
will dismantle the establishment. Bye. All right. So making your way inside of the Adventurers Guild in this district, you enter into a very well lit, because of all the windows and everything, it's a very welcoming, well lit, open plan. To how you all might remember how I described it. As you walk in the main double doors, there's a main section, a desk. There's the wall with that has a large kind of like post-it board thing with various different flyers of different like fonts and colors. Some of them printed, some of them hand drawn, some with ribbons on them denoting significance. Higher and lower, you see like well dressed, well put together people in brown earth tones and some small finery, cravats, ties, various different people in the establishment working. You see a few dwarves, mostly human again, putting up and taking down flyers and making notes, crossing some out, some throwing them away. That's far to the right on a large indicated wall with a lot of what looks to be even different slots, like rising up the wall in various different rows. Places where you could put, like, it looks to be something like a mail system or some kind of notation. The main desk in front of you, connected to that wall, like a long bar that kind of L's, with a back wall and a room that you can't see past because of swinging double doors. You see various different tenants. You see people standing at the desk, all dressed in like vestas and garments, relatively fine for what they do. Very bright customer service smiles.
How lovely.
Dead behind the eyes.
The smile only goes to here.
Never reaches the eyes.
No.
Never.
Never.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Some
Anyway.
people more genuine than other. You see a blonde.
They're all warlocks,
You
so they've all
see
sold
like
their souls.
like a dirty blonde human woman closest to you. Welcome to the Regal Adventures Guild. I'm Elaine. How can I help?
Am I on a familiar basis with Elaine, or like
You've never seen this person before.
who normally
Looking for
runs the
some
desk?
work.
We definitely have work.
You say that?
Are you a member? You
In Exodus as
you
well.
know more. You know Morgan Taghammer. She's the guild master of this
Yeah.
establishment. You don't see her currently.
Hey,
I know the
Elaine.
manager.
Where's Morgan?
Oh, Morgan's upstairs. She's dealing with a small incident we had, but nothing to worry about. She will have everything taken care of. We had a disagreement a few days ago with some prospective members, but the guild assures all of its members and prospective members that this is a very safe place, that anything that would happen in these walls would be dealt with the utmost scrutiny of the law.
So what I'm hearing is we had an incident. It has to be dealt with. It's
Yeah, she's busy.
yeah. She's
Yeah, the manager's dealing with an issue.
Let me see the manager.
I am a manager. Look at that.
So just
Turns nameplate.
like, sorry, I know you probably haven't seen me. I'm Lilith. I'm frequent here, and Morgan and I are on like
She does
first name
not.
basis.
She does not shake your hand. She goes, "So you are a member? Well, welcome. Have you been? Have you been to this? You've been here before.
For a long time. I just got back.
Well, welcome back to Regal, the beautiful city and capital.
I may have brought some prospective members. Do you know how long Morgan's gonna be? I just want to say hi. I haven't seen my friend in a while. That's all.
I could pass along a message if you'd like, but please, if you would like to take them around and show them the rest of the guild hall, I'm sure we could help you with anything you needed."
If you wouldn't mind.
Yes. Give me just a moment. And she goes and talks to somebody else and who takes her place and just kind of like grabs some things. What did you say your name was?
Lilith Tatanti.
Lilith Ditani? Okay. And she goes, she like opens up a part of the desk and closes it back and makes her way to the other side of the room, which is a stairwell leading up to a balcony, which you cannot see beyond. Underneath the balcony, you see what seems to be like a common area. A lot of long tables, chairs, round tables, benches, workstations, and you see quite a few different well-equipped individuals kind of taking it easy. Nobody really in armor or geared up, maybe the odd and end pauldron or vimbrace or things like that, but everybody's kind of taking it easy. It's a lot sparser than the last time you were here. It was a lot, it was relatively busy. I mean, you don't get the same kind of contracts in the city that you would out in the wilderness for adventurers, but you'd still get like a general kind of thing. And there seems to be plenty of work on the wall, but you don't see a whole lot of people there. Just a few different people. You see one or two Dragonborn, just everybody here. You see a group of elves kind of huddled together, 3 or 4 of them. The odd human conversing with a tiefling or two.
Horny people.
An orc off by his lonesome. All sorts of things. Just all doing their own thing. Some of them are eating, some of them are going over what looks like plans or
I'm
papers.
assuming that when we had her sit down together and me spilling out the history of the city and all that kind of stuff, I explained what the guild is. Probably.
Most of you, obviously not you, would understand what the guild is. You've heard of it. It's cut and dry. It's a place for people who are not affiliated with any city government's official capacity of guards, or it's for private workers. It's for the guild is an alternative to freelance work.
Right.
Except with more muscle.
So, as
It's
we're...
a union.
Yeah, union! Yeah!
Guild, union, yeah.
So... I'll show you around for little I know, but you guys don't have to join. It's just, I know maybe we all wanted some work, and I have to do my dues, whatever. But I'll just kind of show you around. Maybe this is something you, beautiful, might be interested in. Because I want to see what you can do.
Oh, do you?
You've had some interaction with guild and people trying to recruit you, but you've basically you've been freelance for a while.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
You said there was a stairway to a balcony?
Yeah, there's a wide stairway off to the side that leads up to a balcony.
I'm 30 feet off that way.
No.
You grab my hand.
Wait, pal.
You just kind of wander off. You're not being stealthily, but you just kind of wander off.
just
You're
move
making
over.
your way up the steps as you're all kind of
Yeah, you guys turn and I'm
Pal,
starting up the
please,
No.
please.
I have, okay. I have the next to you. Nope. Nope.
Whole person.
Nope.
You're gonna have to grapple me.
I don't think I let you get more than 10 feet away from me at any given point.
I say,
Since it's been made clear that you are my responsibility.
Oh no.
I say, Ren, I wish to see what is up there.
That's not in
Come with
places,
me.
public places, even private places. In public places, some places are private places, and you don't just get to explore them.
Nonsense, I have legs, I can walk. Come with me.
Nope. Nope.
So as you make your way up the stairway,
I am
you're very
after them.
slow about them. I mean, you know what's up there.
I know it's up there, but
This is the
if they're
lodging
having
here.
a
You guys are
conversation,
making a scene.
if Morgan is up there, then I'm going up there.
How do I roll for making a scene? Okay.
I'm not trying to make a scene. I'm just.
of everybody.
Yeah, nobody tries
Everyone
to
else
make a
does,
scene.
yeah.
It just kind of happens, doesn't it?
I lean over to Exodus. Are we following them? Or
I just-
looks over at Kara.
Stay put.
So it seems like Ren, Pal,
And I'm
And now
following
Lilith?
and
behind.
Lilith are
I think
making
the
their
three
way
of us are
upstairs.
just watching.
And
So
the rest of y'all are downstairs up by the desk.
we
Can
are
you see
witnessing
it?
the
You
scene.
know, after trying to stop him from going, I'm not the kind of person who makes other people's problems my problem.
Okay.
No, wait, I'm not responsible for you. No.
Kind of. It's like I have tried.
That's totally fair.
Then I'm after him.
Okay, so you guys
So
make your
you're-
way upstairs, and we'll get back to y'all.
You're a retail worker stopping theft. No, you can't do that.
No, please stop.
Think of the repercussions.
You have
If
to
it-
pay
alright,
for
there's
that.
there's a line. If it causes actual harm,
guess
it's one thing. It's just social conventions like.
Oh
All
no.
right.
How most likely
Yeah.
won't murder someone. On
It's Willy Wonka. No, please stop. Come back.
No, don't.
Yeah.
So the rest of you kind of you're hanging out by the desk. What are you doing?
Delicious.
Everybody downstairs. What you doing?
Well, I guess I'm going to try and sign up. I think.
Okay. You go up to one
Do
of
we
the
sign
counter.
up as individuals, or is this a group activity?
If you go up to the counter and speak to somebody, they'll inform you that guild membership is an annual due of 100 gold.
Jesus Christ.
That gives you lodging at any location that is owned by a guild, be it a house or a guild establishment like this. Lodging, food, access to professionals relating to smithing, armory, weaponry, repair. Some magic is available, not so much here. Enchanting, potion work.
It's like the given magic. That's awesome.
For the right
Just
price.
hand him magic out.
Just in the house.
It's a sign-on bonus.
You get magic.
Everyone's a warlock.
You sign. You give.
free.
You give a given name. You sign it. You create a description of yourself, so you would be recognizable in it. It gets entered into a database and eventually sent to other guild houses.
No, it's an MLM.
And the guild has various different perks associated with it. It is a steep entry price annually if you wish to remain a member. However, you only have to pay the due when you check in. If you never check in, you never have to pay. They keep that on record, and the next time you show up, it shows we have a collection under your name. So,
Shit.
I paid already.
I would hope
You have a receipt?
Fine. Shit.
you may have an itemized receipt.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
They give it the good old stamp.
I am assuming that my false identity does not have a guild membership.
no.
Cool.
No. Your false identity
Doesn't it?
is not entered.
Not. It wouldn't make sense, but I thought I would try to swing it.
Yeah.
Can't blame a girl for trying.
Fair.
100
I'm
gold.
going to go to the desk and plop 100 gold onto the thing.
Jesus.
Okay.
I'd like to join.
Wonderful. Thank you. I have a few forms for you to fill out.
Lovely.
They hand you a stack of 20 forms.
Fuck.
This is a lot of it is just necessary it's your name, your description, any information about that you should wish them to know, where you originally come from, next of kin, things like that.
Just in case you die.
And a
If
bunch
you
of,
die,
and a
right.
bunch, and if you flip through it and read through it, the guild is not responsible for any accidental death. You understand that when you sign up for a job, you're contractually obligated to do said job. If you wish to abandon it, you can do so at a guild home. There's a lot of nitty-gritty involved in it, so any questions you may have about it, you're more than free to answer. But if it takes you a few minutes, you can, right there at the desk, you can start signing your name. Do you sign as Exodus, or do you sign as something else?
He's going to sign his Exodus
Okay.
and no surname and everything else, basically. Going through the squiggles, yeah.
Very good.
Alright, this is all legal mumbo jumbo, basically.
For your protection and ours.
Seems
You're
more
dealing
like-
you're dealing now with like a standard. He presents as human, but then you notice that he has a slight upturn in his he has no stubble, no facial hair whatsoever, and a slight upturn in his ear.
Healthy boy.
He's a half elf.
Take him down.
This is for your protection and ours, just to keep everything on the level.
Sure.
There's also a note that you see in there that it is prohibited other and agreed upon duels for guild members to attack one another. If you are found out, you will be expunged from the guild
So that's what happened.
and possibly prosecuted,
Interesting.
depending on what happens. They sign you up and they eventually give you your option of a necklace, a brooch, or a ring, or something with the symbol of the guild, which is just a general, just like a cobalt blue oval with like silver inlay, that just has a large AG on it.
I'd like a ring. That sounds really cool.
Okay. They size you up and they give you a ring.
I'm gonna put that in my inventory.
Take away 100 gold.
That's really gonna suck.
Oh boy! I just paid you.
Yeah, we need more jobs.
Oh, you're gonna get them.
Money, please.
While that is going on downstairs, as you're all kind of getting the rundown about how the guild works and what services it provides, upstairs, Lilith is trying to stop Pal, who she cannot communicate with other than frantic body gestures.
As she's like stop. I'm just like, Lilith, these are good people, and just keep walking up the
These
stairs.
are my good people.
I get to the top of the stairs. I look around. What do I see?
Sorry.
I love that you're being lectured in Exodus.
I know, I hate it.
Pal's body, and he can't understand you.
It's a wonderful, like, disassociative.
Well, you've got what the
Happenstance.
I never said I can't understand her. She just can't understand me.
Yeah, I can't understand him. Except for when he tries to talk.
You come up and you actually see like the upstairs is like trashed. Like there's broken chairs and glass that is currently being cleaned up and swept. And you actually see a stout red-headed woman, a dwarf, speaking to some of the tenants and like some what looks to be adventurers that aren't doing too well. They're actually being seen by like medical staff.
Do I recognize any of them?
Make a history check.
How bad? How like what? They like.
You see
fucked
one.
up?
You see one person. His arm is in a sling, and they have a
22.
black eye. 22. Yeah, you recognize the.
These are your best
You
friends.
recognize the guy who's beat up. He's a. He's a fighter that you have met previously, doing some work.
Have I kicked his ass?
No, you guys have never worked together, but you've seen
Okay.
him around. His name is blah 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 blah. I almost just blurted out Topher Grace, but
His name is Topher.
his name is Topher Grace.
Okay.
So it's just Topher Grace that looks hurt, or is there another?
There's another guy who's there who's binged up, a little dinged up. He's he is a Dragonborn individual. He seems to be like sparsely clothed, with just like some remnants, and he has a large, jagged-looking great axe slung on his back, and he's kind of standing there, and he's got like cuts and bruises and things like that.
Because
You haven't seen this person before.
Okay.
And they seem to be, and who you recognize as Morgan
Need some sex.
is kind of like talking to them, kind of getting like their story.
Right.
I'd like to like not like trying to be stealthy, but like
You just
I
kinda
don't make a
walk
lot
up.
of noise. I just kind of like float up behind them,
Just walk
like,
into.
and I'm like really trying to get a gauge of his. Like I know a wounded animal when I see one, and so I'm trying to gauge like
Distress.
maybe what happened to him.
Just cocking his head like an owl.
So,
Just like
Unsettling.
so as you're
Rhino.
walking up,
Swamp Thing.
I mean, are you
Nurse.
following him?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You actually see the blonde human woman like standing a little ways ahead, a little ways behind with her back to you, and then you walk kind of like a little adjacent to it, not within her like periphery, but just standing close to the like gaggle of people as people are cleaning up around you and trying to like fix the like a common area. This has like an upstairs like hearth going up and everything. The place is tossed. People are like washing the floor of like where a little bit of blood was. You basically hear Morgan going, "And what were you doing bringing non-guild members into my hall who are known affiliates with Amberlight Gang?"
Ooh.
We, Topher,
These are not good people.
the human is like holding like a leather leaking sack, which seems to be holding like cold water or something, against his head, and he's got his arm in a sling. We were trying to find out some more information about the hounds. We heard they were causing some trouble in the Amberlight, and they were moving some stuff through here going towards the East Gate. I invited them in to try and get a cut of the action, act like I was interested in helping them out in their smuggling, but obviously they didn't really believe me. At this point, and she kind of looks up at the Dragonborn, who's just like staying there, arms crossed. He's like currently bleeding from
His nose.
his like nose, and like he's got a few cuts and bruises. I don't really see what the problem is. They're gone now. Not in very good shape either. It's a problem because it ruins part of my establishment, Gollard. You've endangered members of the guild with that obviously couldn't protect themselves, you would think, but look, it was a simple mistake. I'm sorry. I'll pay for any of the damages. You know I'm good for it. I know you are. Get yourself cleaned up and make sure you get taken care of, and we'll discuss this later on your tab.
I like to think that she like turns slightly, and I'm crouching down in between them, in between Topher and her, and just casually look up at her. These are good people. And then in Lilith's voice, here you go. And I just touch the guy and cast Cure Wounds.
Really? Okay.
Forgive the intrusion. This is not how I wanted to welcome you.
I can roll if you want me to roll.
I mean, whatever you want to, yeah. That's fine. However you want to heal him for however. Just let me
7
know.
points. Here you
7
go.
points. Wow. Okay. Feel a little better. Thank you. Person.
No.
I give him a nod and stand back up.
The Dragonborn is just like eyeing you the entire time, and
How tall is he?
for a Dragonborn, he's exceptionally tall. He's 7.5. He's a large built red Dragonborn, and he's beaten up.
I go to 6'6".
He has little bits of horns going back along his like eyebrow and ridgeline going back, and two predominant ones that kind of pull up and back. And he's just kind of watching you.
Did we catch his name?
We did. She said it.
Gorn.
Gorn.
Like the Star Trek stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course.
There's also a game called Gorn.
Anyway.
Corn.
You do that. Morgan sees you do this and goes,
And then she hears me say that behind him.
yeah. Lilith, you've been out of town for a while.
You know that's not the way to introduce me. Come here. And
Aw.
I'd run up and barrel hug her.
She's a lot nicer. She's also an older dwarf. She's actually the elder between the
yeah.
siblings. She's dressed in very nice, short dress, very functional kind of thing. She goes,
I'm just getting pizza.
sorry, you've caught me at a bit of a bad time.
I know, and I apologize for.
And the blonde is standing there, and she just turns around and leaves. She doesn't say anything. She just leaves. Goes, oh, don't mind her.
She knew.
She's there.
Tell her I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it. I'll smooth it over. What are you doing back in town? I heard you were going home.
I was planning on it, and then I guess something happened, and I came back. So.
Who is your miraculous green friend?
So,
Pal is big. Friend is small.
Is friend with you? by
Friend's
the
always
way?
with me.
Do you have it's something to think about.
Yeah, we
I
didn't
would say yeah.
discuss.
You with you? Okay. How are they following? How is friend in
Close to my legs, yeah.
Willow.
Willow? Okay. Willow.
Very important. How dare you?
Friend likes to go in between my legs, but sometimes my legs avoid him because he doesn't watch where he's going.
I got you. Makes sense.
Ugh.
So-
I'm just doing the stanky leg.
Sugar has tripped me many a
yeah,
time.
yeah, she gets in the way.
Yeah.
So, story about him. He's I guess on the way back to the city, there was a bear that was not well and attacked some of the guard that was with the caravan, and he helped. So, I don't know what he is.
Okay.
He's a little odd.
He seems nice.
He is. He doesn't understand a lot. He's like a newborn child, so he's curious. That's why he came up here, and that's why all this happened.
Does it have
So
legs?
Well, you've caught me at a bit of an embarrassing time.
I know, and I really, really, really apologize. And
We
you
had a
know
bit of
that.
a scuffle.
I see that, and I look over at Topher, and I just make eyes like we're gonna talk about this
He
later.
just kind of avoids you. He is like a slight grin, but he just kind of avoids you.
I'll let you get back to it, and then we'll catch up. I'll be here for a minute.
Sure, I'm about finished up. Maybe you might be able to help me and your friend if you're interested. If you're looking for work.
We'll talk about it in just a moment. I actually have other people downstairs that came with me.
Oh. More the merrier. That might be better.
Long story short, they all helped with the bear incident, and because I was going to the city and I had connections, they decided to follow me.
Okay. Well,
But
whenever you get settled,
I'll
I'll come find you.
Yeah.
Downstairs, you're about finishing up with your paperwork and everything, and you get given. They size you up for the ring, and they finally hand it over to you, and then you see the blonde that comes back, opens it up, takes back her position, and doesn't even acknowledge you all anymore. She just seems to be doing mindless paperwork behind the desk. Yeah, you. Yep.
I think this whole time, after Paul went upstairs and Lilith followed, Ren kind of went to a wall nearby and leaned against and just kind of started watching. But especially was started, studying the quietest members of the group. Kara. Is it Kara or Kara?
Kara.
Okay, yeah, Kanota and Kara, and just being like, what is their deal? They've been around. What are they doing?
Well, my plan was, after seeing it was 100 fucking gold coins, to be like, no, you kind of shot me down, you're doing paperwork. I'd go to turn to talk to Ren, and he's gone, so I'm like, well, I guess I'll walk over to him because the rest of them are busy. So, what are you doing over here?
Is that how you open? What are you doing over here?
It was said more
here
casually. I
often?
was kind of,
Oh,
so, gestures because the others are, busy.
What's going on in this neck?
What are you going? Yeah, what are you doing? Because the rest of them, ran off or started paperwork.
that is a great question. This is a little too rich for my blood, and I had hoped that this might give me a direction, maybe something to do until I get some other directions. But I'm just here now. What about you?
Well, and she kind of opens her jacket, which we kind of I'm sure you would have noticed in the. No, not that.
You want to buy drugs?
We would have.
Watch.
In the same way that Kadoda would have seen you definitely take your fox with you, you'd have noticed she basically didn't unpack anything. She just has like a backpack, and then she doesn't look very like we all did combat. She doesn't look super armed until she kind of starts moving in combat, and you're like, oh shit, she's loaded.
You're visually, you're very
Oh, she's so skinny.
to use an overused and very understandable like term. You're very gray man. You're very like non-conspicuous. You kind of just blend in.
Yeah, like looks normal, but if you start trying to find things, it's like, oh, that's like a utility belt. It's like covered in pouches. Her jacket has like secret compartments. So she kind of opens part of her jacket, and you see a bunch of colorful bottles.
Ren clocks all of this. And
Oh,
just,
yeah,
like
with your
Armed
perception.
to the
nods.
teeth.
Just kind of this subtle like I approve.
She kind of opens part of her jacket, and you see a bunch of colorful bottles. I've got a few things here and there I'm looking to sell, and some idle errands.
You want to buy some dusting?
You don't really have any plans. What was your whole goal with, the caravan and all that?
The caravan. I had to get out. I'm from farther south. I had to get out of the city. Things went down. I met someone early in my trip who offered me some employment, but I don't quite have what you might call a job description yet. So I'm waiting for that.
That's fair.
I do have a feeling, though, that trying to stay in this particular company, odd as it may be, will be helpful in the long run. So, what about you? What brings you to this shining example of our civilization?
Well, I guess I didn't really have much else better to do, sad as it is to say. Running into our pal, as it were, kind of piqued my interest, and the curiosity, I had to see where this was going. And there's some very interesting other characters in this group, of course, but I think he's kind of the main attraction here.
Yeah, he does stand out a little more than the rest of us do.
I'm sure there's yelling upstairs.
Yeah.
At the point where he kind of gets like recognized, people are like, "What are you doing?" That whole bit.
Yeah.
And so we kind of like look up and like nod, like, "Yeah, that's what we're talking about, exactly," and then go back to talking.
As you converse and get settled and kind of make your way in, you are all beginning to come down the stairs, and we're going to say that a little bit of time passes where you all kind of just make yourself at home. You get a meal, you get lunch. With the new guild member, they kind of just, trying to sweeten the pot for the rest of you all, the prospective members. They give you a little bit of simple food.
Hot ham water.
At some point, Morgan comes and finds you all and sits and pulls up a chair to the end of the table and kind of. Sorry, that took me a little bit. Right. Well, are you all working? Are you all looking to join the guild? I understand that you joined. Welcome. Always good to have a new member.
He's so excited.
Especially recently.
It is good to get to go to other places. I'm trying to broaden my horizons a bit. Because mostly just working with the towers, they send me from point A to point B, and there's nothing to do in the middle.
And I think at one point I'm assuming we're kind of sitting like we are, and I just kind of go, look, I promise I'll take good care of him.
He turns purple.
Lady touches me.
He reminds me of like a college freshman in the best way possible.
That's the second hug that I've noticed in like 10 minutes. And I'm very confused.
Well, this was like a side hug on the path.
The first hug was really weird.
Oh, the barrel hug I gave her?
Yeah.
So two different types
Two
of
different
hugs.
types of hugs.
What is
There's
this,
a lot
wrestling?
there's a lot of touching.
Why do you touch the people?
Wrestling
I'm observing.
Um,
A special hug.
Well, there's definitely work to be had.
Seen Angela's
Not as
Mate? I know
much
what sex is.
is picked up. So
Thugs.
if you're willing to do basically anything, you can make your way down the wall. I don't know how much she's told you about this, but we had a small incident with some of our members. Regal is a complicated place. There's a lot of people who... Living in this city, you have to kind of make your own way. Whether that means joining up with the guild or other establishments. If you're not working for the royal family and other trade guilds and merchants, things like that. If you're not working down in the Amber Lights, and if more than likely if you're working in the Amber Lights, you might find yourself running with a more scrupulous... Yes. There's a lot of just street gangs, thugs. It's always been like this, but it's certainly started to pick up and make its way into the other districts.
Evil?
Did you ask, are you
Sometimes.
evil?
No,
Or just evil question mark?
Evil?
evil question mark in Ren's voice.
In
I
Ren's
believe
voice,
that
yeah.
was.
Oh,
It's hard to say. It's hard for anyone to label anyone else as evil, but they're certainly not good people. Or they don't do good things.
If you
These are not good people.
not good
These
people.
are not good people.
if you don't mind me asking, what gang seems to be giving you the trouble?
There's a small group from Amberlight called the Slag Hounds. They're just mill workers, and most of them, some of them live down in the Seoul district, but they've been moving closer into Twilight, and they're a pretty violent sort.
Have I had run-in with them? so
No,
far?
they seem to be new. You
Yeah.
haven't heard of them.
Okay.
Just a brief pause to say Slag Hounds, A+ name. Love it.
That's pretty dope.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
As you know, Lilith, there's a lot of different kinds of mills and factories down in Amberlight. A lot of the people that live there, some of them get picked up by these rougher crowds. Slaghounds are a newer one that have been taking on a little bit of territory closer to the Amberlight. Are you familiar with Sid's? I think you might have been there or around there once or twice. It's in Upper Amberlight. Sid's is a like a bar. It's a tavern. It's all right. It's not the Villa. The
Right.
Villa isn't really a bar or a tavern, but it can be a little seedy. It's a nice enough place, but you watch your back.
Right.
You know, it's in a bad part of town, more so than anything. Sid's actually been having a little bit of trouble with them, and now so am I. And I've been having enough trouble trying to keep members on and giving them work that they'd be interested in.
Yeah, I ran into your brother first. I had to
Ugh.
do something for him real fast.
The old
What's
bastard.
going on?
Since the last time you were here, Regalia seems to be moving towards more stricter laws. They've been enforcing a lot more, not quite a curfew, but they've been searching people. They've been, the guards at least, they're a lot more in people's business than they ever were before. They're stopping people on streets for random searches. Nobody seems to know what they're looking for, other than normal contraband trying to keep crime down. I think it's mostly an answer to the rise in crime, but it doesn't seem to be helping anyone.
Your brother said something about
Weapons?
Constables?
Constables are a new faction of the Royal Guard. Constables goes around and they're usually high-ranking members of the Regalian military who handle law enforcement and investigations within the city. You'll notice them because all from a dark red coats they wear.
That's what he said.
They're always geared up, always leading at least a small contingent of other guards. I'm sure they mean well, but their methods are a bit questionable.
Are they beating people in the street?
Not without provocation, but depending on what your provocation is. Not here in Twilight.
You looked at me funny.
Amberlight? Certainly. There have been a few deaths. These were all people, you understand, that were breaking the law, but no due process, no hearing, no trial, just being put down. Or severely threatened enough to stop whatever there is. We've been getting harassed. Members
Have you?
Not me, but my members. Guild members. They don't really like the idea of armed individuals walking freely in the street. There's no law against it yet, but if you see a constable, keep your eyes down and don't look suspicious. If they stop you and search you, they can, and they will. I'd recommend not having anything on you that would be considered contraband.
That makes me a little worried just because you know who I am.
What's your middle name?
Yeah, definitely when she was saying, like, it being armed, walking around, not against the law. Yeah, there's, like, slight concern in Kenoda's eyes.
It's not against
But
the
it's
law.
very subtle.
Look over to Kenoda for like half a second, just be like,
Yeah, I think you'd probably be the only one to, like, recognize it, but it's like, okay.
Mhm.
Now, that's not to say
I'm
that...
only carrying 4 weapons. It's
Yeah,
fine.
well,
Me too.
that's not to say that there isn't the normal guard. I'm sure you've seen a few of our regular patrols outside, and they're all fine. But the constables are definitely something to keep your eye out for.
Can you give me any more information on what's going on since I've been back? Like, can you get me in contact with someone who might have an ear to what's going on?
In what way?
Your brother also said something about weapons.
Military's been stepping up a bit. Nothing completely out of the normal, but they've been recruiting. I've lost a lot of my guild members due to that. That's part of the harassment. They're offering them pretty sweet deals to join up and enlist.
That's what I'm worried about. Because I don't want Dad going back. I hope they're not reaching out farther than that.
I haven't heard much outside the city. It's just in the city. It's just in the districts. They've just been kind of cracking down.
You know what's odd? I wonder if they know something is up because the bear that we killed, and I was not normal.
How do you mean?
It was sickly.
The black icky goo inside of it.
Evil.
Evil.
What's Ren's reaction to being mimicked? Twice now. Just evil.
I just have economics, smelting, and evil.
Yeah, it's he doesn't really respond a whole lot, but he just kind of like blinks very slowly, just like.
It's weird hearing your voice from over there.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Stop that.
That's why you're not talking.
We don't have a lot to say to you.
Any day now, they're going to coronate the new prince. The old king he's getting up there in years, and any day now the prince is going to have to take control and be coronated. That has a few people a little
Worried?
worried.
DM. I'm assuming the king that is now getting old is the same king that basically gave my dad all the bullshit, right?
You know, the bullshit.
The thing.
Feels
Emperor
like me
Albanon
trying to talk to Taylor.
Tark Regalia
Mm-hmm.
has been. He is a half-elven man. The Regalian family is split between human and elf.
Right.
He has been emperor for 84 years.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
He's old, and he hasn't been out of the palace in the last 25.
Oof.
Oh.
This is common knowledge.
Right.
He is still alive,
Mm-hmm.
but
Pulling a Woodrow Wilson.
No, pull the Queen Elizabeth. What you say, snap?
yes, he was the emperor during the time with your father. Yep.
But would the presumptive heir, based on what Ren knows, would the presumptive heir be the guard commander Prince Alexander
Captain
Maximilian,
McBoomstick.
or would that be his father? Since that's all the guys, his current emperor has been on the throne for 84 years.
No, that would be Alexander, as his father,
Okay.
Maxim Regalia,
Mhm.
died in combat.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
Good to
How
know. Good to know. Information. Okay.
much?
Congrats. Sorry about your loss.
Okay. yeah. Yeah.
Have a
That's
crown.
a promotion.
How
Fucking
much
old
would I have known about Prince Maximilian?
Other than
From-
there's a prince.
From the perspective of my
There's a couple
father.
princes. There's a few different. From your father's perspective,
And my
I don't
uncle.
think your father ever met him.
And my uncle
I don't think your uncle ever met him.
knew anything about him.
Heard he was the prince.
'Kay.
Heard his father died in one of the his father died in one of the last northern skirmishes.
Okay. Okay.
As that conversation is like happening, I just kind of under my breath. That's not how it works, but
What
Uh,
breath?
yeah, exactly. I don't have a better phrase. I just want to like very softly aside in Sylvan, just say to Ren, well, I wanted to go to the Ember Light before, but now my curiosity is very, very piqued.
I will respond just as quietly, like, if you don't speak common, how exactly are you following this conversation?
Speaking and understanding are two different things. Believe me, I'm working on it. I have things to talk with the one who calls himself Exodus.
I love that inner monologue is very specific,
Specific.
and like
How?
intelligent. And
How,
then
I want you to make a general. I'll give you. I'll make it. You can make a choice. You can either do an intelligence or a wisdom check
Wisdom.
The
to,
baby
to
is
see
wise.
just how much and how quickly you are
18.
picking up stuff. You're picking up more than you're picking up stuff a lot more. You're getting
picking
you're
up what
getting
we're
it a
throwing
lot. You're not getting specific
on
stuff. You're making mental note of words that keep popping up, and
Yeah, for the most part, that's what I'm
common
doing.
stuff.
I'm picking up on words that are getting thrown out a lot, reading the body language that comes
Exactly.
with them, and trying to assign meaning to these other words.
Body language.
But that's a little heady for what I'm dealing with. Right now, I've just got some trouble. I've got some troublesome neighbors that, well, need to be put out in some way. They need to be dealt with.
back. Sent to the farm.
Well, if things line up, then maybe I can help you.
No promises. I understand, but and please don't mind my little brother. He's
He's gotten more grumpy.
I don't go over for breakfast anymore.
Really?
We still see each other, but no. I try not to piss him off any more than he already is.
Well, at least he's still somewhat nice to me. Because I kind of checked him on the fact I'm like, you're being a little mean.
Yeah. Hi.
So,
Well, welcome to the guild. Welcome back. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. I'm the guild master here. I'm Morgan Tackhammer. You have met my brother, sounds like. I apologize on behalf of my family. We're not all like that. He used to be an artist.
Yeah, we gathered.
Anyway, I'm busy. Please enjoy your meals.
Wait, what?
I don't know. That just. Anyways, I'm busy, so
Yeah, it was just like,
leave.
be gone.
No, not y'all leave. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
We'll be seeing you around. Take care. Goodbye, all. And she hops down, pushes in the chair, and like makes her way back and starts doing whatever it is she does.
and at any point, as she's leaving, is Topher anywhere around or walking out?
You don't see him. You assume he's still like
He's still upstairs?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to keep an eye on the stairway.
All right. Well, you guys spend maybe the next hour and a half after all of that. You spend about maybe 2 hours here in total. What are y'all doing?
That was the reason I came, was just to check up with her,
Yeah,
and
you
see what's
checked
going
in.
on.
Kara's gonna be sizing up like how it experienced these adventures feel in the guild.
Make a perception check.
Does anybody else want to get the fancy ring? Or
I
brooch?
don't have that much cash to
15
throw
gold
around.
just emerges out of my hand.
16.
That is not. That would. Yeah.
X, I don't think the rest of us have that kind of coin on us right now.
I really probably shouldn't have used all of it all at once, but hey, you only really live once, I guess.
Is that all you had?
No, I have 5 more.
I just paid you!
I used it all to get this.
Exodus.
I can make money and find places to do things.
impulsive, are we?
What was your first clue?
Looking around the room and some of the other adventurers, I gotta go for my chance, guys. Looking around the room and looking at some of the other adventurers, you see the group of like clearly elves, not like Ren, high elf. They a little bit more prim and proper, but they seem to be younger.
Okay.
At least young. They look. I mean, young for an elf.
Yeah.
You know, they seem to be kind of a working group. Relatively experienced. You have no real way of telling just what they've been into.
They're level 8.
They're level 20.
You look at that. You look at that dragonborn talking to two humans.
Scale of 1 to 72.
The dragonborn that I mentioned before.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Ron.
came downstairs.
Yeah, he Gorn came downstairs and he's talking to two humans that seem to be kind of rough and tumble. They look pretty well experienced. They look like they can handle themselves. One of them has an eye patch. The other one seems fine. Most leather armors, things like that. Nobody's really like wearing anything right now though. He definitely looks like some muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Who else was there? There was an orc. He's an old guy. He's old. You can
Kratos.
yeah. He's got gray in him. He's got gray in him, and he's just kind of sitting off to his own. He's eating very slowly. He's a very old orc, which is rare to see.
Is that what I'm thinking of?
What?
No, this in my brain. Don't worry about it.
No.
Are there any house plants in the room?
Are there any plants here?
On a windowsill,
Friends.
all alone, you see some mint.
Mint?
Mint.
And they're all half dead.
Please. I need to know what the mint has to say. I need
Well, the
to.
people have asked.
I must perform.
I walk over to the mint, hold out one finger, the finger kind of roots in, and I just say, "There was a kerfuffle upstairs. Do you know anything about it?"
He's tapped in.
Upstairs?
He knows all my V.
Do you Do you have any knowledge of upstairs?
I heard a ruckus, but I didn't hear. There was a ruckus, but like, I mean, I'm in.
New mascot. New mascot.
Thank you for your
Yeah, you're
generous
welcome.
answer. One last question before I.
Oh, sure. I never get the chance.
Are you happy here?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That blonde lady over there, she comes and waters me, and she turns me around so I get more sun.
You do get ample sunlight.
I get okay sunlight.
I like to imagine
Oh
it wiggles.
I look around at the window situation. Like,
There's plenty of natural light that comes in when there is natural light. It's
And-
okay.
good day, Mint.
Good day. Bye.
I'm so glad we did that.
That was very good. That's good. Makes me
I'm
bored.
satisfied.
I'm happy.
We love
I'm gonna have to start coming up with plant characters.
Yeah, you are.
It's part of my subclass.
Don't talk to a fucking rose bush. Oh my god, I can't say those gamer words.
I think at some point.
I'm not even a flower.
I think at some point.
I'm thorny.
I'll get up and I go
That was
over
okay.
to the job board and see what's available.
Yeah,
Identity crisis.
there is a lot of guard duty. There's a lot of wow. There's a lot of just hang out outside the storefront in the amber light. Oh wow.
Specifically in the Amber Light.
Yeah, amber light. A lot of storefront. Not a whole lot of storefronts in the amber light, but what there are, there's like guard duty for that. There's a little bit of stuff that takes you outside of town to some local areas.
I'm curious if there's anything about a bear.
I mean, how long do you look at the thing?
I mean, I'm there for a minute, like scanning
I
everything.
mean, you see a couple of jobs for like beasts and like monster hunting jobs and things like that, but they're all outside of town, a few hours out, close towards the other mountain range to the
one we passed.
no
Oh,
to the east.
okay.
There's like outside of Regalia, there's a bunch of farmlands and things like that, and small towns. You passed a lot of them as you like rounded the as you came through, but yeah, no, nothing that says help wanted, diseased animal.
Okay.
Icky.
I just kind of.
You do see, however, advertisements to join the Regalian military. Those printed post-its with ribbons and stuff hanging off them and official like seals on them. Those are advertisements to join different sections of the Regalian military, cavalry, engineer, all that.
After talking with Mint, I want to go back over to Exodus,
Okay.
and I just tap you on the shoulder, and then like point at your brain and then like touch my chest.
Sure. What is up?
You said you wanted to go to the Helios district.
That I did, yes.
Is that something you wanted to do in this current light cycle?
That is one way of saying it for sure. Yes, I would like to do that. Normally we call them days.
Days.
Days, yes. When the sun comes up and goes down, that is day. When there is no sun and only moon, that is night. We normally call it that instead of light cycle because that's weird.
He's a
Interesting.
plant.
Well, in this day, would you care to have company along this journey?
It's about 3:30.
I would at this point. It would be a good time in the early evening, probably, to go around that way.
Is it a good idea to go with him?
I'm not sure if you should necessarily come or if other people should because it's really just supposed to be me. But don't wander at all.
I will stick by your side.
Like glue, yeah. Or like a shadow.
I did have one other question.
Sure.
After speaking with the one who calls himself Ren, I now have knowledge of a system that you two-leggeds use. This currency system, and I can't help but notice that you have put down quite a large sum of this currency.
That I did, yes.
Is this... I noticed some of the body language of others. This seemed like a bad choice.
Toddler calling you out.
Man, I love the bluntness.
In theory, yes, it is a bad idea, but I wanted to
Impress lady.
want to have something to talk about.
Well, is this 5? Is this enough for you to get around in the city?
It should be, yes. If not, I will make do. And now I have jobs to get.
Got poor shamed by
Well.
a plant.
I have never made use of it before, and I think I will be fine. And I hold out a hand in the 15 manifest.
You do not need to give me that. What if you find something shiny and nice? Perhaps a nice houseplant that you could buy from somebody. Give it a better home.
If it really comes to it, I will make sure it has a better home.
I will steal.
And I just take your hands and put it in there.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, pal.
You're like cold.
Are you gonna try to hug?
Yeah, it's still good.
Yeah. I very slowly just give you a
Oh,
hug.
you're
No,
very
the only thing
good.
you've
He
seen is the
moves.
barrel hug and the side hug I gave him.
It's a full just barrel hug.
But awkwardly,
Oh.
painfully, slowly.
Yeah.
Your arms start knitting together.
Oh god.
Like a
Like the ending scene of Groot when he's just
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, this is new. You move all over the place.
The rest of the party, I imagine, is behind me, and I end up just
Yeah,
like
'cause you
wrapping
didn't-
around
you
you
didn't
and
say
exiting out the
anything,
back of you.
He didn't
my
say
God.
anything. He pointed at you, pointed at his heart. You guys
then we-
stared at each other. He
Gave
offered you
you
money.
money.
You feel
And then he
like
goes,
He tried to
you feel like lawn with a fresh coat of dew. It's refreshing because it was so warm. Then you remember how it happened to you, and the subsequent feelings of
Good
that
thing I
happening.
did not see that.
this is fine.
So, while you're trying to absorb Exodus, I look at Ren and go, "Is this something you like?
I
Did he?
have no idea what's
It's
happening.
like
Cool.
the thing.
Right.
But before that happened, I was hoping to kind of try to look for some thieves' camp, maybe.
Yeah, make a perception
Ooh.
check.
Can I also make a perception, or can I use my passive perception to do the same thing, basically?
Sure.
Just like notice if she notices something interesting.
Forgetting he has Rogan in it.
I know.
Probably didn't see shit. 8.
8. Sorry.
We're supposed to
I've been
roll
up since
better.
4:30.
Bro.
God.
I opened.
Ugh.
Sorry, I'm having a hard
You want to
time.
know passive,
What is
my
your passive?
Perception's 18.
18.
My passive is 12, if that
you-
helps.
Well,
So it's higher than my
You made it.
active roll.
active look for it and did worse. You look around and you okay, Ren. You can tell that she's looking for something in particular. You're not something like carved. She's looking around like places that may catch an eye, but like really high up for some reason, like and really low to the
Again, an
ground, and like
accomplice.
kind of. She's looking at tables and under tables and stuff like that. Like she's not being super subtle about it. Kadota, you're looking for like signs, and you do see like a little bit of like carving and stuff into the wood, but this seems to be just general graffiti. I don't see any thieves' camp.
Ragnar was here.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Kadota seems a little frustrated, but only to Ren. He's the only one to pick up on it.
So, if there's no other business within the guild, I would say that you all make your exit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you all heading? Are you going to be heading back to the villa? Are you going to be exploring some other places in town? What do you want to do?
Oh, you can go first.
No, you go first. You raised your finger first. I will go next.
I wanted to make sure that you were done talking. Would
I'm not.
no, but
Go
from
ahead.
inside, would I know anything about the Slaghounds gang, or would it kind of be familiar to me?
Um,
Oh, yeah, rivals.
Rivals, but
You don't know.
make it
I
history
don't-
check.
Professional
I couldn't remember.
hazards.
Seeing as how you've never been here before, make a history check at disadvantage.
fine. Then.
You
Going
ain't
that
from
way.
around here.
Probably that one. I hope it's that one. 11.
11. You've never heard of them before, but from your description, you understand what kind of group they are. They're thugs. They're goons.
Not
they're
like trained assassin.
no. They're like, hey,
Small
what
time.
are you doing here?
The ruffians and goofballs
Yeah.
that would probably break
Cool.
kneecaps because they
So,
can.
not-
Tourist? Tourist? You're a tourist?
Oh my god, dude! I got called out at Venice Beach, dude. You know how unsettling that is? Oh my god.
You're a tourist? I don't want to answer that. I don't really want to answer. You got cash? I really don't want to. I'm not going to answer that question, man.
I hate you so much.
I need you to go away.
I hate the ones that like tie bracelets around you and stuff. Like,
Ooh,
don't
don't
touch
me.
My sister got caught by that.
And then
Yeah,
lose
that's
a finger.
the thing.
Don't touch me.
Touch me?
That shit.
Yeah, you're not a woman.
Yo, I signed the CD. Hey, what's your name, man? What's your name? I signed this CD.
My
Fuck,
mom got
$10.
My mom got that one in the mall.
Yeah, it
Mom's a
sucks.
pusher.
That happened to me in New York. Anyway,
he didn't even ask if I was a tourist. He just went, "Where are you from?"
Ooh,
Like, oh god dang.
not from
Here.
around here, are
Oh,
ya?
Nope. I
um,
was walking around
So-
like this.
Oh, ask.
where are you all going? What do you
Well,
want to
Chris,
do
what do you-
individually?
Yes.
Yeah. So first question: did said guard commander before we parted ways? Did he tell me like where he was going to be?
No.
Like what his direction? Was? Okay.
He said he would be in touch, or someone would be in touch.
Okay. That is enough. Okay. I was like, all right. So he'll find me. He's got ways. As soon as we leave, or as we're leaving, I will say, well, I don't know about anyone else, but I would rather help some small business owners over in the Amberlight district than help Jarek with a collection run.
Well, actually, before I answer, is Jarek the person that would be like, is this coming from a I'm part of the problem kind of thing? Or.
Define part of the problem.
So, am I working for a scumbag?
I think that
A
answered the
scumbag.
question.
Because.
Define
He seems
scumbag.
just the impression that I have as a player is Jarek feels more like old money.
Let me-
Like an established ring that kind of knows how to be a little bit classy. That's just my impression.
Are
Not
you
a
are
thought.
you, are you wanting to know like what he's known for? Like what his
Well,
typical business
knowing
is?
that I've worked with him for a long time, knowing the jobs I have done, and knowing that the stuff that I've been doing for him. Granted, I'm not. Assume Lilith is just going over there as a thing of like, hey, I really need to make your payment, otherwise I gotta do something. But
I'm so. Oh boy, I'm real sorry.
let it get to that point
Is that
until
what you're asking me? You've never done anything like that.
okay.
You have done.
I've roughed some people up.
You've roughed some people up, but nobody who didn't have it coming.
Right.
I peeled some
That's
toenails
what I'm
the other day.
making.
You've
Okay.
never, on orders, killed anyone.
Right.
Killed a child.
How about that?
Just a small
Okay.
person.
But is he a law-abiding citizen? No.
No. I knew that, but it was just more of, is he contributing to the gang violence end of it?
The gang violence? No.
Okay.
No, that's not his. That's not how he runs.
That's not his
The
wheelhouse.
gang violence? No. The gang problem?
Maybe. That's
Would you like
debatable.
to know?
It really depends on.
I would.
Anyway, yeah. So what's on the table right now for you
character.
all is you can explore the city at your will, at least for the district. You can make your way, or you all can make your way. Depends on your. I mean, your success may vary. You can make your way to the Helios district and the tower, You can go check out Sid's, where you hear they've been having trouble with the Slaghounds. You can investigate the Slaghounds. You can go and do that collection thing. You can go back to Jarek and tell him the job is done. Or come up with an option.
A lot of options.
So, but I
It's
think
an open world game.
Yeah. So I think
You don't have to do any of that
Wait,
shit.
Really?
You don't have to do any of that.
Golly gee.
I think at
Wait,
that
find more
point,
plants.
I kind of
I
responded.
have an
No,
army to build.
Oh my god.
Culture class.
Jesus Christ! Look, Jarek is a guy doing business. I would never align myself with someone
He's a
who does
businessman.
who does.
He's a businessman.
I would never
He's a
align
business.
myself with someone who does gang work or contributes to that gang violence.
Oh, all right. That's not what I said. I just said I would rather help out a small business and do a collection run.
Okay.
If you
Just my
want,
preference.
I can take the guild job and give you all the money.
Why?
Which guild job are you talking about?
Because most of them are guard
The
posts,
one.
right?
Yeah, most of them are just hang out outside of a place. Most of them are like provide protection for the owner or the workers or
What
like
compels
patrons.
you to be so generous to us? And what? I don't understand that.
Pardon
Why?
my skepticism, but
You all fought with me.
And
I consider that enough that I trust you because you didn't turn on each other or me. And
Sure,
I
but-
consider that valor, and I respect that.
makes a little bit of sense.
yeah,
I'd feel more comfortable in
sure,
like a
but
contract work
ongoing.
position than just being handed money personally.
Yeah, a little bit.
As long
I
as
mean,
it's
if
not
you
blood
wanted
money,
to,
I'm
if-
good.
If you guys wanted to, because, correct me if I have this wrong, you wanted to go,
He has to go to a
Books.
very high security.
I feel like that's probably
Area.
something you're going to have to do by yourself, as much as I'm,
I'm taking Pal because I think that they would think he's interesting.
Do you think
Grow-
that's a
grow,
good
like, a few
idea?
inches.
can,
Yes. I think it's an
I love
excellent
how
idea.
nobody is just like
Can you-
questioning that.
does your writ allow you to have a +1?
I probably not, but
Did you read it?
yeah, I did. I have it here actually. On my Google Doc.
I just like hold out my hand and the writ that we had to get into the city just kind of like manifests into my fingers, and I hold it out.
Can you?
Did you steal my fucking
No,
thing?
the travel.
that's his
No,
travel.
that's
I
the
have,
one
I
he
have
has.
mine.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Different. Let's
Not the
see.
same.
I think I have a
He's gonna pull out
forgery
his thing.
kit.
It's a letter of introduction. This document is written, signed, and sealed with the stamp of the Coalition of Mages. He is representative of the
Mages.
Haltern Regional Tower of Arcane Practices and Historical Preservation. Is in possession of the item or items of historical, arcane, or internal importance. The member of the coalition who is in possession of this document parcel has been given special instruction to journey to and deliver both this document and parcel to the regional magical mages tower. Member of coalition has permission to travel
You
with a
don't have to
reasonable
read it
order.
out loud.
I'm looking to make sure I can find whether or not it
He's
says
almost
only
done
one.
So,
It doesn't say that I don't have to not have
I
people with
I
me.
kind of
It
eyes
doesn't
the group,
specify either way.
and I specifically look at you after talking about how much you trust us. I'm not saying that I could definitely, but if we had the tools, I might be able to allow you to have guests with you if I edited your writ a little bit. Unfortunately, I didn't bring those specific tools with me, but I don't know if you have them or know
I just
someone who
kind of
does.
look at like you with just a blaring like I don't think that's a good idea.
I think it's probably better if we just go and then we try to silver tongue our way through it.
In the kindest way possible. Is that an ability the two of you possess? Looks more at Hal than you, but also looking at you.
I would say so. He could also be considered of magical importance.
if you feel comfortable with it, I just, as much as I think rules can be flexible, I don't really want to be arrested my first day in the city.
I won't either, but as long as I'm not a dick, I should be fine.
Question. Knowing my layout of the city, does he have to pass through anywhere?
I'm like, I'm pretty
get to
lax
the
on
Helios
crime,
district.
but I'm not getting arrested
from where
breaking
you
into
are in
this
Twilight,
district.
no, you can go from the Twilight District to
To
the
the
it's
Helios.
the
But
central
also, we
district.
will be with them because
Except for the
It's
Soul
only take
District,
two people.
every district has
That's why I'm
access
like,
to
I
a
can't
place
go
where you
with
can
you.
get to the Helios District.
Okay. So
Anybody that would like to come, they can, I guess, but I'm not able to
I feel
really
like it should
vouch
be a
for.
small group, if any. Yeah.
I lick my staff and nod.
Okay, so Hal and Exodus.
I mean,
Go.
I'm cool taking a job with anyone who's
At the very
interested. It
least-
seemed like you were.
at the very least, I'd like to go ask about what's happening over at Sid's,
Okay.
if you would,
just to see the leads.
and I would be glad to join you. I just need to stop back at Jarek's, and maybe I can pick up something more information for what's going on there.
Looks
Yeah.
over at Kara.
I would love to join you, Red. The Slaghounds, I'm looking for a little bit of danger, and they sound fun.
You sound scary.
All right. I suppose that tells me more about you than anything I have learned about you in the last week.
Worried about me getting in trouble,
Scary
huh?
bitch. Got it.
The last week, it's been a day.
No, I am very much worried about you getting in trouble, Exodus, but that's out of my hands.
Very true.
Much like Powell, no longer our problem.
Well, with that,
And I think before we leave, I grab you on the shoulder and I go, if you get into any trouble, you come find me immediately.
Okay.
There's people around that know me. Just use my name.
Okie doke.
Yeah, that was just
I'll,
gonna make that joke.
I'll do that. Yeah.
As we start to split off and go our separate ways, I look at Kara's group, specifically you,
Okay.
and in Droog's voice, I go, "Don't cause fucking trouble."
nice.
Audible
I hate
laughter.
that you can mimic that.
He's just gonna pick up little nuggets from the whole campaign.
It's like a parrot, but like better.
So,
You're gonna have so much more Exodus when you come
you
back.
guys are so. Hal and Exodus are making their way to the Helios District. This is only going to take maybe 45 minutes from where you guys are. If you are all going back to Jarek's,
I just want more information.
you can go and try and talk to him. It's going to be another like 30 minutes to get there, but from where you can clue in where Sid's may be, it's actually just like 20 minutes down the road. It's actually it's closer. So whatever you want to do.
We'll go there.
Okay. So you guys are walking through the city.
As we get closer to the district, I'm going to go ahead and prestigitize and
Make yourself look better.
make sure that we're not like seeing because
You
magic.
see magic. Like,
I
Ooh,
tap you with the
plan.
staff.
Oh,
Would you keep all saying how unsettling I am to be around? Would it be easier if I took a different form? I cannot change what the... And I, like, ripple my vines on my arms. I cannot change the nature of what I am, but the shape. And I look more like down to friend. That I have a bit of leeway with.
could you be pocket-sized?
I cannot get very. I can not get much denser than I am now. I can get much larger, but small it gets tricky.
Just stay about like humanoid, but like my height, basically, or maybe a little bit shorter, so you're not quite as overbearing and scary.
I can do that.
Yes.
This is
6'6",
good, yeah.
That's fucking.
We don't want to alarm people. That's the big thing. Sometimes there's gnomes and other halflings that are very. They don't like things looking down at them all the time, especially from towering presences and that are made out of vines.
How tall are you?
5'4", I think. Let me double check because I forget.
Woo!
I can
I'm
get
tall.
I can get
Short
to like
king.
Is that
just
is
under
that-
6 foot.
not including horns?
Wait,
Not
what?
including horns. No,
Oh,
Oh, okay. Well,
I was thinking small.
no, he ain't that small.
I best I can do is 6 foot.
Take it or leave it.
Best I can do is
Take
six.
it- take it or leave it.
There we
I
go.
was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I think I'm 5'4". I'll write it down at some point.
All right. So you guys are making your way towards the Helios district. The rest of you take start heading southward, following the streets and everything, and you start to cross over. At some point, there is a excuse me. At some point, there is a definitive change in the scenery. The buildings become more spaced out. That is not to say that there are that much less of them, but they're smaller. They're more spaced out. There's a lot more alleys and crevices kind of like branching through. The roads kind of like split and just become walkways less than roads. There's main roads, less maintained. This is definitely an area of the city which is a lot more
We go in North Carolina to South Carolina where the roads immediately go from smooth to ga 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 ga.
I hate
I
that.
love that reference.
similar to that.
And
Unfortunately.
I use that as an example when I try to explain to people like the difference between South Carolina and North Carolina. I'm like, just when you're driving, it's just a very easy thing.
You don't need any
No, like-
signs.
Nope.
Just-
So like,
You enter Narnia, and it's very apparent that something is changing.
Oh.
Very similar to how the guild house was, the guild building was. It's all brick and mason. It's all brick and mortar masonry, but it's not as well kept. There's a good deal more dirt and creeping
South
vine,
Kakalaki.
dilapidated. There's stuff that is kind of held together. It's passable, but it's definitely not a section of the city that has aged gracefully. You eventually make your way to... You start seeing a lot more wooden structure, adornments, and things like that. You eventually make your way to a wider section of the road that has like a couple different small buildings on it. One of them being a obvious tavern, like saloon-esque, with a hanging wooden sign that just says... Let me get it, sorry. Sids. It's just Sids. CIDS.
I'm so glad you had to look that up.
Well, I wanted the sheet just for information.
You said CIDS?
CIDS. Obviously apostrophe S, but Sids.
like no sheet.
Sid. Final Fantasy Sid. Anyway. Outside, on your way here, you notice that the what was busy for mid-afternoon, 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, you notice as we get closer into the evening, the looming shadow of the walls and buildings just make everything much more darker, which gives this entire area a much more drab and dreary kind of appearance. Feels rougher, because it is. The road is uneven. There's not so much a curb as there is the road is what it is, and there are buildings that pop up out of it. You come across Sid's, and outside of it, you see just a few collection of like different kind of people. You see a lot of just general humans. Bless you. They're dirty. They're workers. They're covered in soot. They're covered in just kind of grime and grease. You see like people who put in a hard day's work. You see like essentially the Carhartt gang. You know, they're hardworking. They have like patched clothing. They're not well to do.
Just a meta question. This is now we're like, I mean, not me because I'm not there, but they're entering. This is like the Amberlight district.
This is the
now?
Amberlight district.
Okay.
At some point, you
So
crossed
this is
over.
the mill.
And then the guild was in the
Twilight.
Twilight.
Twilight district.
Okay.
I don't know. Carhartt's pretty expensive.
I'm
I'm just kidding.
Yes,
That's true.
but you understand what I mean by
Yeah.
They stole it.
working.
The work can be. Though this is the blue collar.
This is very much a blue collar.
Yeah.
These people strip copper out of houses.
Jesus.
Or low shelves.
Yes.
Almost personal.
Walking into Sid's Tavern, it looks like a saloon. There are tables. There are like stools and booths, things like that. But it's all wooden floors. It's all creaky.
Yeah.
It's kept up. It's swept. You see like a couple. You don't see any barmaids, as it were, but you see one or two like servers.
Yeah.
These are male humans, sweeping up, cleaning, busboys, things like that. You see in a older human, wiry, bald, with a little bit of scruff, like not like unshaven, by maybe a day and a half, who's wearing glasses. He is like, you see the veins on his head, you see like liver spots, like he's like just like a fucking wiry old man.
One of those dudes that's like, what the fuck's keeping you together kind of guy.
Taylor was doing this motion for like decrepit, but Caleb and I both saw this.
You see him like,
the bartender or the proprietor?
huh?
Or just a guy?
Was he a guy, the proprietor, or a bartender?
The old guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, all three. He
whatever
works
you
on
want. One-man
he's
band.
Sid. You
That's
assume
Sid.
that this is Sid.
Oh. Unfortunate.
He's wearing like a wireframe spectacles, and he's like going about like organizing drinks and everything, and he's serving drinks as people are getting off their shift. This is right before end of shift. Last couple hours of light, and in Regal, with what limited light there is from all the shadows, any place that isn't internally lit, that is a distinction. Whereas on the roads, you can see now that there are a mixture of gas, like lanterns, kerosene lanterns. When you get inside, there is electricity. There is light fixtures. Very dim. Not all of them working. You make your way in, and you see that the bar is not too heavily patroned at the moment, but there's a few people getting drinks. No food,
Just
drinks. He kind of clocks the group of you guys walking in, and so do some of the other patrons. They keep to themselves. What do you all do?
Have I been here before?
You've been around. I don't think you would have graced the establishment, as it were.
I assume you're the de facto leader because you're the only one from this general area, so.
You've heard of Sid.
I've heard of. Would I have any
Take him in.
connections?
Not
I feel
directly
like
to
that's
him.
Not directly
in
to
your
me.
repertoire.
I think just generally, we'll just take a seat somewhere.
Okay. So one of the like clean bus boys, waiters come up and go, "How can I help?"
Man, he sounds dead inside.
Yeah, I know he is.
Aren't we all?
Question. We've been hearing you've been having a little bit of trouble here. Do you mind if we talk to Sid?
I mean, he's over there at the bar. You want me to get him?
If he's busy, I'll go. I'll meet him at the bar.
Okay. I mean, look around. We're not very busy yet. Do you guys want any drinks?
Poor guy.
I could drink.
Okay. What do you want?
Have
We have ale.
literally no concept of what is here.
We have ale. We have beer.
Do you have a mead?
Mead? No.
Apologies.
You guys haven't been around here before.
Not
have-
really.
Okay. We have water. We have beers. We have a little bit of wine. It's not great.
Expected.
I've got liquor, whiskey, and bourbon. I've got some homemade stuff. It's a little, but
That's some.
Hooch!
we've got some. We've come on, look at this place. It's a bar, guys.
I'll take a straight bourbon on the rocks.
Okay, all right.
That gesture to
This is
So
Ren.
you'd assume they have ice.
Bold of you to assume they
Oh,
have
I didn't
ice.
even think about that.
he puts rocks in your cup.
Gesture
What'd you
to
say?
Ren.
What can I get you?
Cooled rocks. That would actually work.
You look at Ren, he just kind of waves.
I have whiskey
He's like,
stones. They're like,
I'm good.
All right.
stick them in the freezer, then put them in
We'll
your
have
thing.
some
Doesn't water down
bourbon
your
as well.
On the rocks as well.
I'll just take it how it comes.
Yeah, I figured.
Nothing for you yet, sweetheart. Thank you.
Okay. All right, I'll go talk to Sid. Yeah, no, like this is like a 30-something-year-old human male. Like he's just kind of there. I mean, he just walks back over to the bar and he, talks. You see, if you're just staring at him talking to Sid, Sid kind of looks up at y'all, starts making the drinks.
Man, Ren
Oh,
looks
since him
pimped out
go
with a
over-
tiefling and two sketchy human girls.
And Sid himself brings over the tray of drinks and goes, "We don't have ice."
Okay, so ice is a thing in this world, at least.
Yeah, we got. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
just some
heard
gnome
of
in the
it.
back room.
No.
Ray of Frost. Ray of Frost.
Desperately.
Um,
I wanted to be an ice sculptor.
while we're here, I would like to just kind of have my radar up for any sign or hint of approaching trouble.
From inside the bar, you can't really see out of it.
Anywhere.
Okay, all right.
You're
on
inside
lookout.
the bar. I don't expect it from inside. I'm mostly listening to hear
Anything
do I
that triggers
hear
the spidey senses.
concentration of steps? Do I hear rowdy people? You know how you can kind of
I get
It's a
you.
vibe.
Right before the bulls enter the china shop, you hear them coming. I get you. Sid comes up. He gives you your drinks. He goes, "Sorry.
Banjo music stops.
All right. What can I get you?
There's the rocks.
I got you drinks. What else do you want?
Sid, we've been hearing that you've been having some trouble.
What else is new?
We might be able to help.
Might not.
we'd like to try.
What are you in? What do you want to know?
What's been going on? I've been doing guard stuff in the Twilight District, so
Okay.
so what's going on?
The usual rowdy bunch come in. I've got drunks. I've got hard-working people. I've got people who are down on their luck. And recently I've had a couple of miscreants, ne'er-do-wells. I've had a lot of fights.
Morgan's been saying something about gangs.
You say Morgan like I'm supposed to know who that is.
And Tag Hammer.
Okay. You say that like I'm supposed to know who that is.
The slaghounds have been giving you trouble. What do they want with you?
Slaghounds. Bunch of fucking self-righteous jackasses. They think they own the place because they have been protecting us.
Oh. Alright.
They own the neighborhood. They own it. they walk around and beat the shit out of anybody who looks at them sideways. They take.
Are they just? Do
They're
they just have a
thugs.
security racket, or do they have something else going on?
As far as I can tell. And he takes a moment and he looks at all of you and he kind of is just taking a moment to like see like, is it worth me talking to you all? Like, does he actually feel like you all are gonna do anything about this, or like, is it wise to be discussing this with you?
I mean, Cadota is very amused at these, like, effectively, in her opinion, toddlers throwing temper tantrums, so she views them as no threat, if that's what you're trying to gauge. It's like, oh, that's cute. They think they run things.
Look, I'm running out of stools because they keep breaking it over people's heads. They come in and they want protection money. I already pay my dues.
So sounds like you need someone to take care of them.
Would be nice.
Looks at
Do you think?
Lilith and Ren.
Do you think they're the kind? Do you think most of them are the kind who will scatter if, say, we take the head off the snake?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, some of them are young enough not to get involved if any actual threat comes their way. But they have a few older, heavier workers. There's a couple of people who go over from the steel mill that are part of the group. They're bigger guys. They're probably the leaders. A couple of orcs and bigger guys, humans. Just your general miscreants, I guess. I would watch out for any of them. There's anywhere at a time I've seen them come in groups of 5 to 15. I would watch out because, no offense, but the 4 of you don't exactly look like an army. So, and the Regalian Guard hasn't come in to do anything about it. It's been like this for at least the last 4 months.
Who's the guard?
Who's the guard? I mean, the Regalian Guard?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're...
I think not like plural.
Yeah,
Guards,
just
or like as the name of the institution.
the institution.
Well, meaning, like, is it the same
One
person?
guy.
That's what I mean. Or the same people.
Amberlight doesn't really get patrols like the Twilight District. We kind of have to fend for ourselves. Every so often we get constables that come in and they ask us questions about what's going on, but nobody fucking talks to them. We
Fair.
don't. They're not much better.
Oh, I
That's what we've
believe
heard.
you.
Is he giving me the eye like I don't want you here? Like me, specifically?
No, he just kind of doesn't. He just doesn't know what. He doesn't really feel like you guys are going to actually do anything, and he's worried the more he talks to you, it's going to bite him in the ass, because they're going to be like, so you've been talking to people about us, huh?
Cadota is very interested.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you hang around, buy a couple more drinks, and just kind of see what happens. I'll tell you what, if any of them I know come in here tonight, or this evening, I'll look over at you. Okay? That fair? But do me a favor,
Nothing in house.
don't mention it. Nothing in house. Please, I can't afford more. Like, and you kind of look around, like some of the table you guys are sitting at, if you were to look under it, it's bolted together. Like, it has clearly been, like, you know the thing in an old Western where they throw them onto a table and the tabletop breaks?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been bolted back together with, like, you know,
No arson.
No arson!
Have magic.
with all the spirits in here and all the
Imagine
wood,
you
it
arson.
would go up like
I
a
do think
fucking
that's
tinder.
tinderbox.
Oh my
It would go like crazy.
I don't have the fire breath potion
My
in this
entire
game.
body lights on fire, guys.
That's hot.
Bacon.
So,
Type.
You guys hang around for a little bit. Order a couple drinks.
Not red.
Not Ren.
I do partake in 1 point.
Okay. You work up a tab of, we're gonna say, just for the table as you're a group, I'm gonna say you work up a tab of 2 silver.
I only have gold.
And depending,
I only have gold as well.
Does anyone have change? Fuck.
anyway.
I have 20 silver. So.
Okay.
Do you mind?
Yeah, I can pay it.
Cool. Oh no, we only have $100 bills.
You get
Daddy's money.
Ooh.
after a while, you get a few various different raced individuals coming in, maybe in a few groups, like working buddies that come in and they all sit at the bar. You hear them having conversations with Sid. Most of it kind of jovial and fine, just kind of shooting the shit. You get a couple of ladies.
Ladies in the night.
Well, you get a couple of
Friends here.
ladies
Ladies of the
who
late
come
daytime.
around and they start acting really
Fuck
friendly
me.
with a few people. You get 1 or 2 people who kind of walk in with instruments. And I say 1 or 2, I mean like at the most after 45 minutes since the first one came in, 2 others. You've got a violin. You've got a like simple drum,
Drums.
a simple drum, and then you have like a flute. And they're like old looking, like they don't look like well maintained, but it looks precious to them. And they start giving kind of a little lighter kind of thing, just kind of filling the air.
Any good?
They're okay.
Irish pub vibe.
For the 3 instruments that are in the room, yeah, it's okay. You had the
It's
violin.
just Sea of Thieves.
You have the violin kind of informing the melody. You have the simple drum giving the beats, the tempo, and the flute kind of like panning in and out with and matching in melody with the violin. Nothing lively. Very just kind of like not somber, but
Mellow.
mellow. Very mellow. Very just like it's been a long day, just come in, try and relax for a little bit. And they play a couple of songs, they take a few breaks and have some drinks.
Blue collar Irish pub vibes. Yeah.
At this point, we go back to Exodus and Pal.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
So as you're making your way through the Twilight District, as it gets later into the evening, you see more people are kind of closing up, like they're on the streets and everything. There have been like stalls. You see a lot of stores are getting ready to kind of close up for the night as it's getting dark. The kerosene lanterns are going around and being lit. Stop it!
Stop saying it.
I'm gonna start giving you disadvantage.
Ignited.
no.
Do it.
Like, do it, pussy.
Damn, get called out.
Put up or
Maybe-
shut up, old man.
Challenge.
Making your way through, the lights are being, put out. You actually do see, instead of some people with like the long torch on the stage, you see a few people of you see a few members of the Regalian Guard wearing less armor, wearing similar to you in robery of the same same colors and everything. They're going around and they just, with 1 or 2 other guards, they just walk around. And light begins to emit from some of them. Very slowly making their way, doing that. Very simple little cantrip. Eventually you get to what is clearly like a checkpoint. You see it as a gradual incline becomes a little bit more steeper, and you begin to start climbing different sets of staircases, cutting through different roads that encircle the Helios district. Once you get to what would be the cutoff between Twilight and Helios, you come across a checkpoint. There are a couple guards there who ask you your business. And no constables in red, just the standard guard. They ask you what your business is.
Look at the flick of my writ.
Okay, they take it.
Fuck you.
How long have you been holding that in?
Actually, I literally just thought of it. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fucking great.
Disadvantage.
Inspiration for that.
Actually, no, that was really good.
Okay.
You get DM inspiration. You can.
Sweet. I love making bad jokes, and it works sometimes.
It was too good to.
Just keep doing it.
It wasn't bad enough to punish, and it was too good not to acknowledge. Am I a confrontational DM? We'll find out. He takes a look at your writ and he notices you. Now, because it is darker, you are having a little bit. It's kind of giving way to the just like you just look like a different kind of person. People are definitely put off by you. They're not terribly comfortable, but they're not. No one on this shift is really wanting to get involved, especially when they see verifiable documentation that you can come in here. At a certain point, as you make your way through another 2 or 3 checkpoints, you begin to go up an incline that starts to encircle a road that encircles, but you're cutting across the road to go up stairwell. Kind of like a zigzagging pattern going up with plateaus and balconies. You eventually get to a section in which it becomes a lot steeper. There seems to be like a protective wall that goes around the inner part of the Helios district.
This is really making my legs burn.
You look over the side and see that you have gone a considerable distance from where you were in the Twilight District and elevation. You are maybe 16 to 18 stories up, just stairwell going up. You look down and go, and you feel it in your legs, definitely. You feel it in your vines. Your sinew.
I'm just like cycling out the tired vines with other
Yeah.
parts of the body.
Cool.
Weird. Just like a rubber wheel, just like.
I would say at some point, since we're so high up, I probably do get the view of the city. It's going to nighttime, right?
Well, you're still. It is going to nighttime. It is still evening. It's maybe at this time between 3 o'clock. It's probably close to 4:30, 4:45. Once you get to the final little checkpoint, and then it is actually a elevator. You get to a checkpoint that is part of the wall that is like a command post along the road. You seemingly the same road that you have been crossing over and coming across after multiple steps.
I've read about these. These are very cool.
You come across different guards. These guards are now wearing all yellow with red detailing. They look a bit more regal. And as you approach them, like shift, quick, sharp movements. One comes up to you like quickly. What is your business in the Helios district?
I have my writ here. I'm to go to the tower.
And
He's to a company.
it doesn't say anything about a company. You carry a package with you?
That I do, yes.
What is the nature of your package?
The package is magical in
Sorry.
nature.
I'm so sorry. That came from deep in my soul. I'm
I
sorry.
was doing so good until last.
That's my fault. I'll take that one.
That's fair. You're good.
What is the nature of the parcel you carry? Is that better? No.
Cylindrical and throbbing.
Stop!
Take it away.
Alright, okay.
The DM give it from the DM. Take it away.
Understandable. Okay. It is a transcription of an older book that is supposed to be rewritten, from my understanding. I have another one that I wanted to trade in order to get another one, though, like a library, sort of. And this one is a magical person of some sort of nature that would need to be studied, perhaps.
Is there any fire around?
There are
Scott.
some,
You're gonna get your
like,
ass
there's a
arrested.
fire that in a like a fire pit, but there is electricity going along, and as it has gotten darker, lights and wires that are going around it, and you begin to see like this dull yellow light emanating out from like the walls themselves. There is a little bit of like rudimentary electricity and light sources, not just the kerosene lamps. There are those as well, but they seem to be being replaced
Interesting. Well,
the higher you climb.
yeah, he was going to do something, and then the lights turn on, and that just kind of takes his attention.
Very well. You will accompany me into the lift, and you'll be escorted into the tower. Once your business is finished, you will exit the tower and be escorted out.
Sounds very good to me.
He hands you back your writ. Follow me. And he kind of turns, makes his way to the lift. Once he is settled, once you get on and you get settled, he nods, to which one of the other yellow-clad guards walk over to a set of levers. Grab.
He's like bouncing in his seat.
Big
Big machines.
You see in this multiple road scaffolding, you see different pulleys and systems and chains and ropes. Eventually your platform lifts as it is, it's encompassed. It's like it's open to the air, obviously, but it is like guardrails and things like that, and you begin to ascend. Maybe about 7 or 8 minutes, and then you come to a stop to the large wall. There is bright lights here, bright electrical lighting in here. It's a little bit more finished. You turn around, go into the wall, which is like a tunnel passing through it, and then splits down and seems to go within the wall in multiple sections of its thickness. You pass on to the other side through a gate that other guards open for you and are standing there, and you see a wide open courtyard, just this rotunda with 3 distinct different buildings. The first one that you're coming across to your right is a large, opulent cathedral building. It is a monument-esque with front-facing pillars, large marble-looking pillars going up and holding the, think like the Pantheon.
Yeah.
Steps leading up to it on each side in which you can enter into the main area of it and go further into a larger building. And behind that, the large dark shadow of a tower rises even higher up, but not quite as high as the mages, and a little further down away, you see a large palace. Multiple cylindrical tower platforms come up and encase it, as a large dome is built up with a singular tower coming out the very back end of it, going higher and higher into a large spire. With the
I was just gonna say, you hear something just Pal just mutters something in a language you don't know, but essentially he says "oh shit" in Sylvan.
Across this large rotunda, moving past the large like cathedral building, and moving across the center of it, or the off center, moving across to the complete other side of it, there is a simple, relatively large, but not nearly the same as the other buildings here. There is a large, you guess to be 20 to 25 stories tall, simple tower. You have seen something like this before. At the very base of it, there is a kind of wide staircase that comes around, and then you go up, go to platforms, and then back up to a door. Once you get to the steps, the guard says, "Be about your business. I or another guard will be here to escort you out when you are finished."
Sounds like a plan. Thank you for being of assistance to me and not like, being super grumpy. I hope your day goes well.
The day has gone well. Night is upon us.
I see, yes. Have good time.
You as well.
Going up the steps.
And he watches you. You all ascend to the steps and eventually come. You begin your ascent up the steps. We're going to cut back to the Sid's Tavern.
That went well.
So far.
So far.
No.
At this point,
Concern.
the place has been lively. You're a few drinks in for the people who have been drinking. Nothing really has gotten out of the hand, and the mood has actually picked up a little bit. People seem to be happy and having an all right time. Some people have checked out and paid their tab and said their goodbyes to friends and comrades and Sid. Everybody seems to know Sid who comes in here. Everybody seems to be at least familiar with him, if not personable conversation. They're having they show him a lot of respect. They don't try and bother him for drinks. They bother everybody else, but he is there and he is going about his business. Rin, as you have been dutifully on lookout, you see a couple individuals who you're that prick, your hair starts to rise up because you start to watch them, but they seem to settle in and be fine. Eventually, a couple people come in, five humans and one orc, all wearing it looks like a leather apron, but it has been cut short to about the midriff and hangs heavy on them. It's more like a jerkin, but made out of heavy duty leather. There's pockets in them. It's been stitched together, things like that. Other than that, they're wearing non-definable, just working clothes. They seem to be dirty. They're wearing high top leather boots, things like that. And
when you say orc, do you mean orc or half orc?
I mean orc.
Oh shit.
Okay.
I mean an orc.
And this isn't the orc we saw in the Adventurers Guild?
No,
Okay.
that was a half orc.
Okay.
This is a orc.
Orc. Okay.
Capital.
He's
Capital
large.
O.
He's clearly he doesn't seem to be the leader. That seems to be one of the more wiry and lean looking humans that are kind of at the front of this little pack. You all kind of clock them come in because there's a definite shift in the bar.
There's a shift in the atmosphere.
Sid kind of looks over at y'all and eventually probably makes eye contact with each of you and then goes about his business. Music stops. What's the matter? You're not happy to see any of your friends? We haven't been around in a few days. We thought you might have forgotten about us.
I'm just looking like Lilith Ren. I almost permission
he kind of goes over to the bar, and some of the guys kind of like spread around the room. In fact, one of them comes up to your table, and it's just, how are you doing?
Who is he saying it to?
To all of you.
No response.
I'm gonna take out.
The least interested face she could make.
He's just this big bearded, like scruffy looking dude, like sunken, swollen.
I'm gonna take out a pan flute. Little set of pan pipes.
Pan flute.
Little set of pan pipes, and just ignoring the question. Just start something very soft, very very simple and plain. Nothing is like you really like. I really know what I'm doing, but just like, oh, music stop. I'm gonna start.
Fucking on. Okay.
Just dooting away.
The guy who comes up to your table like notices that, and he's like listening in, and he kind of just smiles. He's listening to you. He's not doing anything, but he's up at your table in y'all's business as you see a couple of the other people, and the orc in fact goes over to one of the other tables, pushes a guy over out of his chair, and grabs his drink and starts.
Canota, if you're making.
Yeah, I'm.
It's constant
Waiting
darting eye
for
contact.
permission. Yes.
Yeah, you have whatever consent Ren.
So-
gives.
Well, because we're not supposed to make like a ruckus inside, but they're already making a ruckus, so
So
that's where
wha-
I'm torn. Because this isn't my part.
So while
My town.
that's going on, you hear the seeming leader. Sid, is this any kind of way to welcome your friends? I thought we had an understanding. You're supposed to roll out all the good stuff. You knew we were coming. We ain't been here in 5 days. We were due. And he starts to look, and he starts to like peer around the bar and starts reaching in. And Sid goes, "You're no friends of mine. Look, we don't want any more."
Wait.
As soon as he says that, I like to punch the guy next to us in the throat.
From your sitting position.
Well, shit! I was gonna say something cool.
I know. He gets it. He called it.
Why don't we put some flavor on it? If you're gonna attack him.
Yeah, as soon as this like he's indicated. I think my goal is to move things towards the door and out.
But you're gonna start a fight.
I'm eager
Yeah.
for fight.
Okay. All right.
I'm just
Fuck, hold on.
I've been thinking about that ever since we started talking about the gang coming into the bar.
It is midnight.
yeah.
Where do you guys stand?
Oh yeah.
I'm
so
off
you guys,
tomorrow.
yeah. Right.
Wait.
Like, do we want to do this, or
I
do we want to
mean,
call
I
it?
would,
I'm pretty tired.
personally,
So.
it's not midnight for me. I would rather not start a full combat right. I mean, I would rather not get engaged in a.
Let's not get engaged in the full combat. Let's roleplay the next little bit.
Okay,
Okay.
fine.
So, for flavor, if you disagree, just stop me. At the moment you're playing the
Segue.
pan flute and the guy kind of like
Segue.
goes to reach for your drink.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Ren, you're kind of leaning back in your chair, and then you get your foot up on it. He grabs it, looks at you. You kick the table into him, and then you stand
Yeah.
up. Right.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
All the other guys, everybody turns around. The guy talking to Sid turns around. It's like we got some troublemakers. Want him fucking skinned. The orc is still going about drinking. So in that moment,
He
boom,
wants me what?
skinned.
Ooh.
Skin.
At that point, Kara's
Cool.
gonna stand up and have her arm resting on her sword.
Do I get to roll damage?
Sure.
I mean,
It's not. We're not in combat at the moment, but like
Okay.
you kick the table into him, he doubles over, and he holds his side, and then you just like go right up underneath him, hit him. Like he's not expecting
Yeah.
it. You just full on like you sucker punch him essentially. You stand up and have your
Just have her arm resting on her sword at this point now. Just like,
everybody else at the bar. Everybody else at the bar is just like kind of getting ready to like take cover, and the other people start to move in on you.
So while Kadota's looking back and forth like for permission right before this happens, Ren would have noticed she's been like kind of fingering at one of her daggers, not in like a nervous, like kind of itchy trigger finger way, but more of like excited, like we're gonna do something.
I want to point out for all of you, none of them are carrying weapons.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, everything when they start, and I go, gentlemen, please. And I
standing at this point.
I stand up and walk around to him, and I put to the guy who's choking, and I put a hand on his shoulder, and it's a tight grip. Tight.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, we're not looking for any kind of trouble.
Well, you found trouble, lass.
I'm here to end trouble. So if you kindly, this gentleman was trying to steal my friend's drink, and I don't take kindly to that.
Can't steal what's already ours.
According to who?
According
I don't see any authority here.
And
Looks
if
him
Sid
over.
here is telling you you're not friends, then I don't think you're friends.
The guy at the bar goes, all right, Sid, are these friends of yours? I've never seen them before.
And he said we didn't have permission. He wanted
Well, then you
nothing.
wouldn't mind. And he grabs a glass and tosses it at you. The other guys rush you.
Oh, then immediately I fucking sucker punch the dude next to me. And
So you got him? And the rest of them are coming at you as you all like rise from the table. And that's where we'll stop from there.
Okay.
You guys are making your way up to the door.
Guys, get all the
I sucker punch him. No.
Hello? Yeah, welcome to the...
Just decking old wizard.
like full-on Black Mesa, like scientists. Hello, God.
While you, in Ren's voice, say evil.
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 The door opens as you all...
Magic evil.
And
Magic
a...
evil.
The door opens and a very older elven, like old as in wrinkled, kind of squat, but still regal in that age. Like he's well aged into it. Similarly dressed, robed individual answers the door and goes, we've been expecting you. Please come in. And that's where we're gonna stop.
Woohoo.
Sick.
Fight!
Come and get it.
I imagine
that's
this is
next
gonna
time.
turn out like the fucking Sherlock Holmes fight.
nah.
Just come on, Brawlerz.
Down roll.
I mean, at this point, at least one of these guys has got to be down for the count from the start.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, he's
I think that
definitely-
first guy got fucked.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Sucker punch, it's like,
Twice.
you know,
He's
yeah.
definitely like things change for him very quickly, so he's got to take that into consideration. But we'll find out what happens next time.
Woo!
Next time.
Oh, the Regalia.